All right, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the Wikid Publishing Podcast. We're excited to welcome you guys here. We have a few of our creators with us. Cody from Jack Irons. We have Matt from the McKinnon Chronicles and Brett from Changeling, as well as Ibai Canales from the Decimator series. And we're welcoming them all to talk comics today. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey.
Yay.
No,
it's cold. I was going to say it's cold and it's foggy. It's Washington in the dead of autumn.
Ooh. Sounds
yeah, you just described my hometown perfectly.
Does it rain a lot in Spain?
In my part of Spain, it does. It's more similar to Ireland than to the rest of Spain, you know?
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Now, we have Cody with us today, but Cody will be joining us in the chat. So go ahead and look to the chat to find out what Cody's up to. And then what about you, Matt? What's going on with you? Oh God!
Matt.
I just opened up the YouTube and I just heard my own voice. It's like really
put a mute on that, man.
Let's see, is Cody here? Cody, say something.
Well, he says that there's no video for him to join.
Oh, we didn't give him the link yet.
Yeah. Can you put the link in the group chat?
Sure. Well, today's a big day for Cody and for Jack Irons in general. We have a lot of cool updates and news that we can talk about a little bit, and hopefully Cody can share some of the insights with you himself through the chat. But one of the big things that we're going to be working on this week is starting to get the ball rolling on the Jack Irons Indiegogo campaign in terms of the actual printing. So we're going to be starting the proofing process and start getting things going. And we're going to really excited to help Cody get out some really awesome books to his backers, because we know how loyal they are and how much they've put into it and how much they care about the project. So we really want to make these really good for them. So we'll be having some more updates as the weeks go on, but look for have those in your hands pretty soon.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I mean, I actually put money down on Jack on the Indiegogo campaign. I mean, although I think it was to get issue 2. Ready.
Oh yeah, that would be fun too. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was just gonna say we're working on issue 1 now, but issue 2 we'll probably start working on a little bit later down the line. Not too long, but maybe Cody can give us some updates on that. But so you said you were one of the backers yourself then in that project.
Yeah, I was. I got the receipt and everything.
Now, how did you hear about Jack Irons?
I'm sure. How I heard about Jack Irons, man, that is. I can't even remember how I found it. I think it was just I found it randomly through Twitter one day. And I was just intrigued by I was intrigued by the premise. Yes, in fact, believe it or not, my channel was going to be the first time Cody ever did a live stream.
Really?
But the first time we tried setting it up, for whatever reason, Cody could not get it to work, and it wasn't until later that we realized that he was using the wrong browser.
Oh boy. Which one was he using, if I might ask?
Do you remember, Cody? Do you remember?
Sounds like Cody's had a history of this.
He probably, I don't even know if he would. Sounds like he has this issue on a regular basis. The man needs an upgrade, that's for sure.
We need to get his profits up so that he can upgrade.
Hey, Jack Irons fans out there, you heard the news. You spread the word. Cody needs a new phone or laptop, so get on it. Get him
my colorist needs her own PC so she doesn't have to keep relying on her boyfriend.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's never good, is it?
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Get my team's Patreon up till up to like $1,000 a month, and we got the guy named Jeremy Lott in the chat.
Oh yeah, I'm actually familiar with Jeremy Lott. I believe I'm happy to say that if I'm not mistaken, he was our first customer on the Wikid store.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I'm very familiar with him. He's a great guy, and that's
by the
good
way,
to hear.
I just tweeted this video with hashtag Wicked Weekend.
Wicked Weekend, nice. Yep. Oh, you know what's a good idea? Since Matt can't join in, Matt Bryant, the other co-founder of Wicked Publishing, maybe he should join us in the chat as well with Cody.
Yeah, he should. He should
get him in here. So, well, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about some other cool news I have, since we're on the subject of really awesome stuff going on. We mentioned Jack Irons getting sent off to the printer, but we also have Decimators issue 2 getting printed out this month as well, which will be really exciting. I know we mentioned that a little bit last podcast, but we're making some more progress on it. The proofs are coming in soon, and so we should be getting those out very soon. And if no one's actually read the print version, and they might not be familiar with the format that we're going with, because it is very different from your standard comic. And so because it's a webcomic and it was designed in a landscape format, the artist, Ebi Canales, who's with us today, obviously, he wanted us to have to keep the original formatting and really kind of keep the feel of the art. So one of his major requests was to actually have a landscape formatted comic, and not just have it be a comic where, oh, it's a comic and I'm turning it over on its side and now the spine, the binding is at the top of the comic, but it is actually a landscape comic with the binding still on the left. So you still open it up left to right like a normal comic. And so in that sense,
hey,
go ahead.
I was going to say, that's been done. I mean, that's what Frank Miller did with 300.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, how interesting. Oh, I could see that being really interesting for that format. Huh. Okay. Well, yeah, that's something that we wanted to do, and so we worked with the printer to kind of make that work, and so yeah, we were really excited to kind of have a different look to it.
Yeah. The best part is it takes up more space on LNCs, so I'm bound to be noticed more than the average comic book.
Yeah, it can be that is like one thing. It's like depending on what kind of bookshelf you've got, it can be a bit of a challenge to fit.
True.
Yeah, I know.
That's very true. But hey,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna. Sometimes you gotta, you just gotta do what feels right to you, man. As a creator,
Yeah, no, I actually got the idea from I think I told you guys, from a webcomic that I first saw in print called High Noon, which was about a werewolf western, steampunk werewolf western. And I like the look of it. I flipped through it and I discovered it was actually originally a webcomic. So I thought, hey, this is a really cool idea for to get your webcomic out there.
I think.
Huh. Wow, that is pretty cool. Who's the creator of this High Noon comic?
Man, let me look it up. I don't have it right here, but I'll let you know in 1 minute.
Okay.
I know.
I did a little research, but Google Images isn't really helping.
Sorry, it's High Moon, and that's
High Moon. That might be why.
High Moon, isn't that? I think I've heard of that. Isn't that like a werewolf western?
Yeah. It's a steampunk werewolf western.
That's pretty cool.
It was developed in 2004 and 2007.
Huh.
Written by David Gallagher.
Interesting.
And I don't know who.
Put out by Voodoo Comics. I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, I think it's a subsidiary of DC Comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Steve Ellis is the artist. Yeah, David
beautiful
Gallagher,
art, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. That's the main reason why I bought it.
Ah, yeah.
It's
yeah, it has that
I was gonna say,
thing going on.
That book is like that comic is like perfect inspiration material.
Right? I know. It was back from the days in which comic books were still fun, and you weren't expected to do nothing but them, but have fun and disconnect a bit from your life. That's why I liked it.
Oh, looks like we may have been joined by fellow Wicked creator Matt Bryant, are you here with us today?
Yeah, can you guys hear me good?
Yep.
Yep.
Nice,
Yeah,
man. You got working on the phone.
Yep. It just took a quick workaround.
That's awesome.
And I even told Cody the way I did it, so he should try that out.
Yeah, hopefully it'll work for him because I know he's been having a lot of issues with that lately.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome to have you in, man. We were just talking about this comic that kind of inspired the landscape layout for Decimators.
Oh, very nice.
And how is Decimators going for you, Canales? How are things going these days?
Well, I finally finished wrapping it, as I've been saying I would do for months now.
Wow,
but yeah,
really? So is the last page posted?
Yeah, I already posted the last page. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Wow, incredible.
It was pretty, was pretty successful, if I say so myself. Everyone.
Are you very satisfied with how you were able to wrap things up?
Yeah, I mean, I think I killed a bunch of characters, which is what you're supposed to do when you're finishing a story arc. And as I promised, I left a bunch of loose ends, so we can continue it somewhere in the future. So yeah, I think it was pretty okay.
Nice, dude. That's awesome.
Wait, did you say you killed a bunch of characters?
Yes. I always do.
Okay, that. so Canales, what makes you different from George R.R. Martin?
Less prose.
I was going to say weight.
Yes,
no CP.
I'm also slightly skinnier.
Yep, weight.
Yeah, I can't see George R. Martin doing any Krav Maga or any kind of mixed martial arts.
I don't see Canales also doing any of the underage sex scenes either.
Well, there's that.
I have this rule by which I only write about what I know about. So no sex scenes from me.
No, but see, that's the thing. George R. Martin, he has that rule too.
I don't know. Maybe
he only writes about
when he was in college. I don't know.
Well, so does Stephen King. Why do you think all his books take place in Maine?
Yeah. Exactly.
So is that why he's a fiction writer too?
Yeah, that's right. Oh man. But no, I mean that sounds pretty awesome. Killing your characters off. That's a lot of good things to look forward to for your readers out there.
Yeah,
you get a lot of heartache in your future. Just be forewarned, readers.
I think if you're gonna have a character killed, it has to be this is pretty obvious, right? But for a reason, you just can have them killed, and that's it. It has to be like the end of the story arc for them. There's nothing more to tell about these characters. So
wow, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, you're not just trying to kill them off for the shock factor.
Yeah, no, I'm not just throwing the dice and this guy gets it, this one doesn't. Nah, that's not how I do it. Even though it might seem like that.
That's pretty smart, actually. That actually, I think people can tell when characters kind of are just sacrificed for no apparent reason. I think that shows pretty apparently usually.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid.
Yeah. I think like if just getting back on Game of Thrones for a second, I think like the only time the only times I think like George R. Martin killed people and it actually meant something was probably like when Ned Stark got executed and the Red Wedding.
Actually, I think George R. R. Martin writes characters to be killed off with a reason. It's Game of Thrones, the show, that kills people off indiscriminately.
Really? So you think the show does it a little bit worse than the books?
Oh yeah, because basically there's a reaction to each stuff, such as the king is killed. So there's going to be some discord over how things are done in the transition of kings. Ned Stark is killed off, which removes any kind of chance of peace.
By the way, spoiler alert for Game of Thrones. If nobody's watched or read that yet, by the way. Okay, continue.
Ned Stark is played by Sean Bean. Everyone knows he dies.
Oh, that's sad.
It's the law of the universe. Sean Bean always dies.
Yeah, he's even in the newest Hitman commercial, and he dies in the end of that one.
Oh wow!
I've actually seen a couple of movies where he lives.
Oh wow! He's finally broken the curse.
Well, more like they're the exception.
If you watch Sharp's War, he's in it. He's the main character, and he lives.
For which one?
Sharp's War. It's a British TV soap based on a series of novels.
Huh.
Well, I guess even in Silent Hills 2, Revelation, I think it is, or something like that. The movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was in both. But funny thing was,
he doesn't die, but he is in a Silent Hill.
You know what? Funny thing about Silent Hill Do you know who else is in Silent Hill Revelations? Shit, you not. Yeah, and that's his first movie. Kit Harington,
Snow.
Jon Snow.
Oh yeah,
really?
Hey.
What?
I'll just have you guys know that I'm probably the only person on Earth who never saw Game of Thrones.
You're not missing it. To be honest, you're not really missing anything.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you got to give it a credit where credit's due. There really has never been a show quite like this show. I mean, the scope, the visuals, just the epicness of it. There really isn't anything you could compare it to on TV.
I guess, but yeah, it's just like
a couple of times. It looked really great. I seen it looked movie-like, but I couldn't decide whether it was a porn with sword fights or a swashbuckling movie with a lot of sex. I couldn't decide. So
he's got it there. He has it there. I mean, and I'll be honest, I quit watching after season 5 anyway.
I will say they do have equal opportunity nudity, which is pretty cool. Because most shows you tend to lean obviously one way, so they kind of have both. So it's at least a bit fair in that respect.
It also has equal opportunity murder too.
Sure, that's very true.
Equal rights and equal lefts.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy the show, but for what it's worth. But I understand why people don't as well. So I totally get that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I was digging it up until season 5. It's just to me that was just what that was when I just lost interest in it altogether. Speaking of awesome HBO properties, though, I recently just found out that the HBO is finally starting pre-production on the Deadwood film.
Seriously, you're not kidding me?
No.
Oh my god!
I am not kidding.
That is amazing. Wow, I've been waiting for that movie for so long.
When the hottest property in the world right now is the Western, so I'm really it's gonna blow right over, folks. I'm telling you, by the time this Deadwood movie comes out, it's not gonna get the heat that Red Dead's putting into everything. Literally, Warframe is doing cowboy music. Overwatch did its cowboy thing real quick. I'm kind of sad to watch it because I wasn't set up primed to take advantage of it. But
it's Cody.
Well, you know what? It's actually very timely that we're discussing Jack Irons going to print while the hype for Red Dead Redemption 2 is at its highest.
Right? I mean, did you guys see the new South Park episode?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, they're all over that Red Dead love.
Well, dude, once again, hottest property in the world. Made the most money out of any entertainment property ever, up till GTA 5. But GTA 5 has its microtransactions still running. So once Red Dead gets those, they'll make bank off of that. GTA 6
they will.
But
I got my copy waiting for me. Actually,
everybody's a cowboy now, and I'm kind of pissed because I was here first.
Hey man, that's kind of messed up.
Should we have a fan art contest where Jack Irons kills
John Marston?
Kills John Marston? Or Arthur Morgan?
Marston's already gets killed. I was going to say, I don't know this new son bitch.
I think they're both.
Yeah, me neither.
I think a new guy gets killed.
I'm sure a new guy is
it's
always
a
getting
Western.
killed.
If you guys are familiar with it, the Western starts with the concept of the dead man's walk. And that means that somebody's going to die. Yeah, so if the hero doesn't die by the end, then it's a white Western like a John Wayne one, and he still just disappears into the sunset, never to be seen again.
That's really
it's
interesting.
Still a dead man's walk.
Wow,
the endless dead man's walk. That's
Clint Eastwood did that all the
dude.
Clint Eastwood did that all the time, though.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's never the same character technically.
Yeah. No, that's really, really quite interesting. I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, and they're always revenge tales of some kind. It has to be some kind of vengeance or fixing wrong. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like a Western. It's a weird fucking thing.
It's about the outlaw justice,
like that.
There was
There
was no law.
It's kind of interesting.
Right.
It's kind of interesting how the cowboy film and the samurai film can interchange with each other.
Well, in particular, the Ronin film. Samurai films can be very militaristic. Ronin films are cowboy films.
Yeah, well, that's why the Magnificent Seven is basically a 1-to-1 remake of Seven Samurai. You just replace all the samurai with cowboys.
And
by the way, for those who don't, just a quick note for anyone podcast listener who doesn't know, a Ronin is a samurai who's been disavowed by their master. Is that correct?
Doesn't have a
most
master.
of the time.
Yeah,
but one way or another, he doesn't have a commander in chief.
Okay, interesting.
It's actually really interesting that cowboy films inspired Akira Kurosawa in his samurai films, and then his samurai films influenced cowboy films.
That's the endless cycle.
I think Sergio Leone actually almost got.
Newest X-Men?
Yeah, My Hero Academia. That's fucking X-Men.
That.
Tell me different.
Huh? You think it's X-Men?
Yeah, what I was
school.
But yeah, what I was gonna say though is like
being raised. Yeah, it's X-Men.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was gonna say though, guys, is I think I remember like back in the day, Sergio Leone almost got sued by Akira Kurosawa because Fistful of Dollars was like a shot-for-shot remake of Yojimbo, I think.
You guys saw the Walter Hill's movie Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis?
Yes,
no.
Yes, the remake of Fistful of Dollars. Yeah,
exactly. It's actually a remake.
Like 1913, 1914, something like that, 1920s.
In gangster era Texas, in the the Prohibition era. It's really a great movie.
What's it called? A fun one.
Last Man Standing. It's really great. One of my favorite 90s action movies. Yeah, I don't know. Go watch it.
It's a good remake of a samurai.
Technically, that makes it a remake.
Wait a second.
Yep, it's a remake.
Wait. Who's in the movie?
Bruce Willis and Bruce Dern.
Oh, so it's not the Last Man Standing with Tim Allen then, I guess.
No. Does Tim Allen kill everyone else in the movie?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he carries a pair of 1911
Is that the
Colts.
most recent movie with him?
Who, Tim Allen?
No. Bruce Willis.
My bad. Oh, no, I don't think so.
I know there is a movie that he was just in that is very violent too, and I think it's a remake of like an old 1970s
Oh
film.
God, Death Wish. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Charles Brosnan. I could watch that because it's just like Punisher, easy. This one they really went into the sicko, and I couldn't get past the point where his family's getting fucked over.
Well, what were you expecting? It was directed by Eli Roth, Cody.
Yeah.
I pay attention to people's fucking names. I saw Bruce Willis, dude. Like anybody else in that fucking production.
Cody, if you want some pretty good movies, I mean, he's not terrible. I mean, he's in a lot of bad movies, so I guess he's
the original with Charles Bronson.
I just want to say, if you want some perspective on how Eli Roth directs, just go watch Hostel.
Okay, but Inglourious Bastards is a good movie, though.
Yeah.
He didn't direct it. That was Tarantino.
Oh, well, that's true. What did he do on the movie?
I can stand.
Was he just an actor? Oh, he was just an actor in that movie, huh?
Yeah, he was just a star in it.
Good point.
The Green Inferno.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, he directed that one too.
It's a great freaking movie. I think it's his best movie to date.
Really?
What movie?
Green Inferno.
It's actually a jab against SJWs. If you can watch it like that. It's a great movie. It's like it's the anti-Avatar, in which the savages aren't actually noble, and the evil corporation are the ones who come to the rescue.
Nice.
That's a bit of a twist on that.
And that's another remake right there. I like Dances with Wolves. I'm not a big fan of Avatar. All flash, no soul.
Wait, Avatar is based on Dances with Wolves in some way?
It's literally the same fucking script.
I assumed it was more Pocahontas, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was a lot of things, to be honest.
Really? Oh, okay. Oh, that's
I
like,
mean,
I
the plot follows one for one. Dances with Wolves.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like when I look at it, when I get it to in my mind, like Avatar is what happens when you take Dances with Wolves, Aliens, and The Matrix, and somehow try to stitch them together.
It's not aliens, it's Smurfs.
Smurfs.
It's fucking Smurfs.
I think technically it's based on John Carter novels. You know, when the guy comes to Mars and he becomes friends with I think it's the Tharks and something like that.
Well, that's Dances with Wolves also. The guy goes to the frontier and makes friends with the natives.
Also, The Last Samurai. The Last Samurai is also a remake of Dance with Wolves. It's Dance with Japanese.
Yes. Yes.
Seriously?
Hey, Last Samurai is a good movie.
Tom Cruise is
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's Dancing with Samurai.
Yep.
Damn, it's so interesting how what's interesting is how these companies will repackage a movie like this and then they won't even tell you. Like they'll play it off like, oh no, this is a totally original movie. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, but
well, yeah,
but
it makes more money.
Samurai,
right?
I didn't win that one.
It's just funny because I never thought of it that way. Like I've seen a ton of these movies and didn't know any of these were remakes. You know.
Yep.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, there's only a handful of actual stories, and all of them have been told about 1 million times at this point. And so you can't blame anything for being repackaged. It's how well they do it and how new of a feeling you get as you're watching it. And these just felt the same as it felt like worse versions of something.
You're not adding anything to
me.
it.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
I can't
it can
wait
do a lot
for
a lot of people.
Yeah, I think someone said that there's actually just like 8 different stories at heart.
Yeah.
You know, at the core of that, all the stories are like 8 different variations of the same. So,
speaking
you know.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of I don't mean to change the topic, but I was kind of interested. Like, speaking of inspirations, have you talked about what kind of inspired you, Cody, to create Jack Irons in the first place?
Oh, I'm sure plenty of people have heard it because people are always curious. I hope it's pretty evident in the work itself because I'm not trying to hide my influences. I'm trying to show them and you know, homage them and you know, honor them. So I'm hoping it's kind of obvious, but where it's not, I'm also happy there. Mainly with Jack, it's Mad Max and the old Clint Eastwood westerns with the old sci-fis and such I liked, and I just tried to put that in a blender and see what came out, and so far so good.
Wow.
But it's also all the old superhero properties I love. There's so much I want to put in, and I'm cutting fat, and I've cut a lot of fat, and I've actually got it outlined. I've got my story. I've got where it ends. I've got it where it should be, but filling in those holes is going to be interesting. Cactus Coyote is going to do a lot of that. Hopefully that launches next week also. My hope is we can get a couple pages out next week. So that's kind of I'm pretty stoked for that. It'll give a little bit more background. But they're 2 different series, very much. Cactus Coyote's about 20 years later, but it's quite a bit after Jack. So, I don't know.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's kind of a big drop right there.
Yeah. But Jack still exists. You know, he can't die. So, it's not like it ends the series.
As far as we know.
Well.
Who knows what's out there in that big universe, man? Fuck, dude.
No, the ending. I can tell you, it's not.
I want to know. No spoilers. Nope. I don't want to know. Nope. I don't want to know.
No. He's not gonna die.
That's come on. I don't want to know that. I want to. Yeah, I need the suspense.
No, it's integral to the plot of all.
All right. I have planned, you heard it, readers. It's integral. There's no way. Listen up.
Yeah, you better pay attention. But no, seriously, the main thing I wanted to homage was Mad Max and old westerns, if we come to it. And I just thought putting it in the future like Trigun did or Cowboy Bebop gives me more range to do whatever the hell I want with the universe, and that's exactly what we're doing with both series so far.
Nice.
So yeah, it's mainly those 2. Fallout's a big one, but that if I say Fallout, then I also mean Mad Max because they took the same inspiration. So we're all drinking from the same damn Kool-Aid, and that's kind of where I'm from.
Now I have an interesting question for you. What is your favorite Mad Max movie?
Oh well, that's I like Road Warrior. I got to put that first, and then I'll put Fury Road, and then Thunderdome. Mad Max is a little grimy to me. It's supposed to be. It was a very grindhouse made film.
That's actually my favorite of the 4. Well, only because it to me it really feels like the transition period from a futuristic world to a dystopian world.
And that's what they were doing. You'll notice I watched a whole special on this because I do my research. You'll notice how it starts off as, like you said, it's the fall of man, and as you watch these movies before Fury Road, you'll see how it takes place before the nuclear apocalypse, and then Road Warrior, there has been a nuclear apocalypse.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there's multiple apocalypses in the Mad Max world as well, which is kind of nice. There's the gas shortage and war, which is Mad Max.
Wow.
And then there's Everybody's Fucking Dead, Mad Max 2.
Damn, dude, I gotta rewatch these movies, man.
Oh, they're great. They're very entertaining. If you like,
you guys ever seen Razor Fist? You guys ever seen Razor Fist's video series on the Mad Max series?
Nope.
I can't say I recognize YouTubers by name. I'm still not that much of a care. So I may have, but I kind of doubt it, but maybe. Razor Fist sounds familiar, but I don't know. But yeah, I'll check that out for sure.
I'll link it to you. I'll link it to you later.
Cool.
But yeah, Razor Fist is he's like one of my favorite YouTubers. I mean, he's really good at like he sort of does these reviews and sort of like that old that kind of old style from back when sites like that guy with the glasses were big. But yeah, but his humor's a lot more. How do I put it?
It's a lot. Punch him in the face.
No,
that would be nice.
No,
because that's what
for one, Razor Fist is heavily. Razor Fist's humor is heavily influenced by Dennis Miller, and he's copped to that multiple times. So he's actually funny.
That's good.
Right on. Other influences for the hell of it. Back on track here. Freaking. I just had it. Okay. Comic wise, basically what got me into comics and what basically I started writing, Jack, when I got into comics. This hasn't been a lifelong thing, but I'm also not that old, so it kind of balances out.
Okay. So how long have you been reading comics then?
I've only been reading comics about, 12 years now. So I haven't been reading them for too long. I started in high school when I started noticing the hardcore art that I saw in Garth Ennis and Clayton Crane's Ghost Rider run, and that's still my favorite pairing of artist and writer in comics. I remember. Adore it.
I read that in high school too, dude. I was blown away by just how let's be honest.
It's ridiculous.
Let's just be honest. Clayton Crane. Clayton Crane is a guy who his artwork is it looks like it comes straight out of a heavy metal album.
Yeah, pretty much. It's his lighting. I mean, he does great line work, but if you look at faces and stuff, it's kind of cartoony. But if you look at how he frames his lighting and colors digitally, that's where he excels. He's real busy, like Ethan Van Sciver is. He's a real busy artist. He likes having a bunch of stuff on there. But the difference I notice is how he does his colors. He likes to fade stuff out so it's there and you can see it, but it doesn't pop out, so it doesn't feel as busy. It's a lot easier of a thing to look at, even though it's usually horrific, like a giant pile of organs and spines and shit conglomerated and lifting over Ghost Riders. He rides through hell, shit like that. It didn't feel busy, and I really appreciate somebody who can be busy and not feel busy. That's a hell of a thing to accomplish.
I like how he's able to depict texture. Right? I have the Venom
texture,
Carnage, and the symbiote. The way he draws the symbiote, it's like all slimy, and you can see how it glistens against the light, and it's really great.
Yeah, he's killer at that, and I noticed that right away. Good with flames and his bike shots. He portrays movement on a motorcycle. It's almost unmatched in terms of. I'm a big Ghost Rider fan, and it's hard for me to find anybody who's really given me what I wanted out of that character compared to Crane. So that's that run inspired me, Garth Ennis, and reading that, and then I went, oh, he does Punisher. I like Punisher, and then I started reading his dark humored Punisher Max, and I was hooked on comics for life.
Did you guys ever see Clayton Crane stuff when he was drawing for X-Force?
I did not.
Well, yeah. Well, that was like when Craig Kyle and Chris Yost took over the book, and I think that's probably one where he's a little more restrained. That's because of what he has to work with. But yeah, I think of that team, like it initially started out with Wolverine, X-23, Wolfsbane, and Warpath.
Huh.
It's like I said, it doesn't. You don't see like the stuff with like Venom versus Carnage or Ghost Rider Road to Damnation, where it's like we have all this guts and gore, but there is a lot of blood. It's hyper violent as fuck.
Well, good. You need that with Wolverine, and I don't know why they feel he needs to avoid that so much. Like, was there even a Wolverine Max series? Did they ever actually just let him chop people to shit?
No, they don't.
There's a lot of things that they do, but it really won't be appropriate for a kid's book anyway in Marvel Comics these days. So I'm surprised they're not doing any other violence.
Yeah, they have so many characters. Like even the Punisher recently, from what I've read, he's way more subdued than say a pre-Civil War Punisher that was in the mainstream. He was still pretty messed up, and you'd still finish and murder motherfuckers. But Wolverine, he better be. I mean, he's got nothing else except to stand there and take damage. So he's got to be killing bastards. And so why put him on a leash? I don't see how that sells him. And he's a hell of a character. It's really sad.
Well, it's a Disney character
Jack
now, so.
again.
Well, I will disagree slightly
Wolverine.
with that, Canales, only because if you take a look at, look at the Netflix Punisher, man. That series is great.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was heavy-handed in its military politics.
A little bit, yeah.
Big fan. But when it was Frank, I was happy.
I can also, not to bring this, I can also say, like, I'm only bringing this up just because I'm friends with Brian from Rags. He fucking hated it.
Why?
I'm not surprised. It's very anti-military.
No, that wasn't where he quit. That was not where he quit. Where he quit?
It was over the accuracy of tactics and the guns, right?
Yeah, Brian is a stickler for that shit in military movies and areas and stuff. Like he's always pointing out that like he is the worst person to watch those types of movies with because he will point out all the little details they get wrong.
Well, good. Honestly, Frank should not be getting any of that shit wrong, and they had no excuse to do so. And so he's absolutely right to be pissed about it. Frank is supposed to be the epitome of soldiers, use the best tactics to eliminate the possibility of civilian casualties while maximizing the amount of damage he puts out without hurting anybody. He's used bombs effectively without killing civilians. This isn't, he's supposed to be extremely professional. I don't blame Brian at all, but I'm a candy guy, so as long as the thing was enjoyable,
right? For the casual viewer, the casual viewer won't have that issue most likely.
But yeah, no. Honestly, I would be pissed too. I would rather them have it accurate and me not know than have them not have it accurate and me not know. It just shows that extra level of care.
You feel that they would at least want to give you accurate information.
Well, I mean, that's what Punisher's comics went off of. Anybody knows Punisher's Armory? That was a book for a while that would just break down how he uses his weapons, what they are, and how to work and clean them, shit like that. It was great.
They're teaching everyone how to do it.
They did the back to school specials too. I love the name of that. One of them, he busts into a heavy metal band that slowly works into sacrificing babies, and he kills them before they sacrifice the babies on stage. That was back to school special. I just love the terminology. That's the kind of books I've always been into. That heavier shit with that smarmy dark humor. Hellblazer's another big one. I don't know.
Did you much read into Preacher?
I tried Preacher. Again, I like Enos on characters I know better than characters he made. Hitman's all right. I like Hitman a little bit, but like I never really hooked onto any of his original properties very well.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm a big fan of Hellblazer myself, and Garth Ennis' run on Hellblazer is just one of the best.
Yeah,
it's arguably the best if we're being honest.
Yeah,
I like the first run.
Oh yeah, you got to give it to Jamie Delano. Jamie Delano is
Delano, thank you. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Delano.
His work was not only was it really kind of thought provoking and prose like, but it really set up the character and who John Constantine was.
Yeah, exactly.
Constantine. Everyone gets it wrong.
I know it's wrong, but it seems so weird to say Constantine.
Why is it Constantine? Because I've never heard it pronounced like that in any.
Because Alan Moore said so.
In fact, actually,
fuck Alan Moore.
and not only that, dude, but
Let him
there's
pray to a snake god about this name.
There's
change,
two
okay?
reasons why. Apparently, it's based on it's based on an old name. I think that the pronunciation has just kind of traditionally been Constantine, but there's actually there's a one-off issue about an old King Constantine, and they spell it out in this weird way where it's actually you kind of have to pronounce the way they that way.
I gotcha.
I still don't like it.
In a comic, he did say Constantine rhymes with fine.
That's what it is. That's what it was. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking of. Yep.
Still pisses me off.
No.
America
appropriated Constantine here.
So
I
think they say on the TV show. I believe they say Constantine, don't they?
Yeah, and all the DC specials and animated movies. It's Constantine.
Okay.
So, can I just say that John Constantine? Can I just say that John Constantine had no business being folded into the mainstream DC universe after the New 52?
Oh yeah, he did. He's edgy, just like Raven's got to be edgy. Everybody's got to be fucking edgy. Nightwing, fuck Batman. So I'm not
Batman.
Surprised. I mean, DC's just like all we have is edge. That's all we have. Sex.
Maybe they're just trying to rebrand them.
If Marvel's trying to be family friendly, you got to do something to set yourself apart.
I guess so.
How about good comics?
To be fair, DC does have better comics than Marvel does right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
I would have to argue
that's not saying much.
Marvel is family friendly.
Yeah.
You argue that they're not family friendly?
Yeah, their stories aren't family friendly.
They say they're trying to be
family.
They say they're trying to be family friendly. Also, guys in the chat, we just had Dan and Eric Cabral show up.
Oh, nice. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome to the chat. In fact, Dan is one of the newest Wikid creators to join us. So we should have had him on the podcast. What were we thinking?
Hey, what?
Hey.
Eric Mary says that Decimators is based on The Last Jedi. How dare you, sir?
Wow.
I will get it. Give me a sec, Michael. I will get Dan in.
Oh, nice, dude. That'd be awesome, dude. I just added him to. That'd be cool. Or no, yeah.
All right.
Wait, did you
I'll let you handle it.
Be happy.
But.
Oh yeah, Dan. Yeah, we added. Yeah, Dan. We added you to the Wikid chat on Twitter. You're gonna have to scroll up a little, but you'll find the link.
Okay, Dan can't come in anyway.
Oh,
but he showed up.
Well.
Right,
but maybe next time. We'd love to have you next time, Dan. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. Welcome to the chat, we're happy to have you.
Yeah, we need to know about Adobe Kroger, dude.
Dude, I'm so stoked on Adobe Kroger.
Oh so man, excited. I'm on the last couple hours of the audiobook. It's amazing. You got.
Oh really? I got.
Actually, Dan, while you're in the chat, how much do you need to have read the book to understand what's going on in the comic?
I should answer that. I don't know if Dan wants to answer in the chat. Let's see. Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah. Let me know once he's answered, if you don't mind.
Canales, it looks like you're gonna have to find this person, and you can demand all you want, but you're gonna have to take satisfaction. It seems they're not.
Well, I'm gonna go full Liam Neeson on you.
Okay, well, there you go.
You're a Spaniard. You guys perfected dueling.
Well, yes. I think Spain was actually much better when you can solve your differences by sword fighting. So I'm trying to bring that back to our culture.
There's still a few states here where you can go for a duel, but you need some special permits and shit.
You mentioned you mean mutual combat? Mutual combat. If I remember correct, like Seattle's basically like a mutual combat city as long as you've got a third party witness to the fight.
Oh yeah, I remember.
It's perfect. It's above board.
You guys ever heard about this guy, this real life superhero on Seattle?
Oh, the ex-UFC guy. Right?
Yeah. He's a black guy with a yellow armor.
Yeah, I did research on those crazy fucks for a little while.
I'm saying that because I think he beat the shit out of somebody in front of the cops, and the cops couldn't do anything because it was a mutual combat state.
By the way,
I remember that.
By the way, everyone who's listening in, just to let everyone know, Dan let us know that you do not need to have read the book because the comic is actually a prequel to the book series.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I would still recommend getting the audiobook.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can pull up. Hey, Dan, can you can you at least put a link to the audiobook in the group chat?
Yeah, in the Wikid chat. Otherwise, here I don't think you can because you ain't got a wrench. You want to start wrenching people, Wikid? Somebody?
Yeah, you probably. Make it moderate. Make it. Yeah, you just right. Yeah, you right
You're not
click
making
on.
it.
Yeah, right.
What?
You're gonna right. You go on. You just hover over. Let's see. Yeah, basically. You click on
you
the.
just hover. There's gonna be the 3 dots, and then it'll say make moderator or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
And me.
What?
And me. Yeah.
And me. You want me to make you guys moderators?
Yeah, so we can post links and shit.
Ah, okay. You're gonna have, sorry, the 3 dots and then manage moderators, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, if it works, if you did it right, the next thing one of us types will have a wrench icon next to it, and that'll indicate we're moderators.
Not yet for me.
I don't know how to quite do it.
I thought it was pretty easy, but maybe I'm
wrong. It says moderators. It says paste new moderators channel URL.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually have to get the channel URL. That's weird.
It looks like that. Yeah.
I never had to do that. Okay. Well, whatever. Dan, Dan, just post the link to the audiobook in the group chat so we can so everyone who doesn't have it yet can find it. Because also
I can post it, right?
Yeah. You should. You should be able to. I think. You should be able to.
Okay.
I think we should only mod Canalis. That would make this channel very interesting.
I need to be moderated.
We could rename the channel to the mod Canalis channel.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that the most heated discussions come from the Italian and the Spaniard.
Yep.
Well, I'm not as much discussing as I am trolling, really. I just like to piss people off,
I'm just saying. I think it's got something to do with that Latin blood.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got both in me, and I think I'm fine.
I'm
Italian and Spaniard. Just chill.
Eric says as soon as he gets his next check, he's getting some Wikid comics. Oh, what?
Dude.
Yep. Oh, there you go. That's something. You should talk about your lineup that you got available at the moment.
Yeah, we're actually gonna be dropping a new comic tonight on our store. We're gonna have Barrels Out, the new comic written by me with art by the incomparable Jeff R. Lasley. He's this amazing artist out of Tennessee. And so it's a 1920s mafia gangster comic, and you'll be able to get that one on the store tonight. And then let's see what else. Matt, maybe you can help remind me if you remember anything. I know we're gonna be we'd like to let Cody talk a little bit about Jack Irons and what's going on with that if you don't mind.
Okay, as far as I know, because you guys got to catch me up. Last night I was supposed to get something and I didn't. So
right,
we got to talk.
Right, but basically what I was explaining to the others a little while ago was that we're doing the proofing process now, and that the proofs are going to be sending us off to this week, and that we'll be getting the print books out really soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But there's a step in there we need.
Yeah, we are. In fact, we're going to be getting on out after the chat to hit you up after that. So no worries on that. We'll get right to you. We just had a few things come up last night, and unfortunately, weren't able to get to it. But we don't rest assured we are on top of it.
Yep. Yeah, no. Anybody's familiar, been following me. I've tried to be pretty transparent with my updates, so I'm going to post another one to the Indiegogo that'll be emailed to all backers. So if you miss it, it's kind of because you're not looking and paying attention, so I don't feel bad. But we're a week off schedule at the moment in terms of getting this done, but it's only a week, so that's not so bad. I think folks are fine with that. we will hopefully be getting them started shipping maybe after next week. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. Anybody following me? Besides that, I've got Cactus Coyote hopefully coming out next week as well, but it might be a little later depending on how we want to schedule it alongside the release of Jack Irons. I want people to have access to Jack first, hopefully. So that's kind of where I'm at. Coyote's 3 pages in finished, so we're about ready to start posting them. And Jack first issue is completely done as far as I know, everything. I just haven't seen the complete folder yet. And after that, we should be set for the printer and getting this first issue out, and I'm going to be a pretty happy guy.
And so the first thing, we want to make sure that everything looks good, so we're going to get the proofs over to Cody so that he can look over them, and once we get his final approval, then we'll start the final print run, or the first print run, I should say.
Yeah. And
get those going.
Yeah, and then hopefully not too long after, depending. I want to get at least that's one thing too. Anybody who's listening to this that, you know, I've been asking for a good month now for the email addresses because of how this for physical addresses through email. Because of how my campaign was run, Indiegogo did not collect shipping addresses for us, so I have to do it manually. And so I've only gotten about half. I've gotten about 99 out of 199. So
okay,
I'm
so
really
backers, get on that.
Yeah. Of course, we'll keep them there. We'll keep them sitting and waiting for.
Oh yeah.
Just get a hold of us at some point. I'll keep that going as long as we still have issues that need to be sent out. I'll also be sending in email reminders and such pretty consistently, especially once we're shipping. But still, try
now.
If I haven't confirmed already, you got to confirm it with me. Don't assume I have it, because I don't. I can always guarantee it. I only have half. 50-50 chance I don't have yours unless you talk to me directly.
Yeah, I really got to be able to get my hands on a copy of Jack Irons, because like it, along with the copy of Rags that I am currently holding in my hand, that I'm keeping in its package so I keep it preserved. I want that thing hung and framed on my wall.
Hell yeah, you're not the only one who's told me that, and I'm so stoked for that.
Look for that to be on the...
I'm going to do something similar.
Now,
go for it, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I did want to let your fans know that in addition to handling the publishing, we're going to be also handling the shipping for the comics. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that and what kind of shipping we're going to be using so that everyone kind of is informed and up to date on that. And so we've done a little research, and I know there was some talks in other streams a little while back about what kind of methods of shipping might be possible and might be the best. And so through our research, we've determined that using media mail is the best option. A lot of people were unsure if you can use media mail. However, we have determined that it is possible to use media mail for comics as long as there isn't any advertising in it. And that doesn't include
for anything outside of its own connected things. So it's okay to have Wikid publishing. Yeah,
exactly. Those are considered interstitials when you advertise for your own works, and so those don't count as the advertisements. So as long as you do that, it's okay. And one of the great things about media mail is it's very quick. It usually takes about 5 to 6 days, I believe, and it comes with tracking numbers, so you'll be able to track the package every step of the way and see where your comic is and when it's coming in, and if there are any issues, you'll be able to follow up on and make sure that you get the comics that you ordered.
On that note, also, anybody international listening, because I did get quite a few international orders. I've told everybody who's gotten directly to me, but anybody who hasn't and still needs to do that, and I'll probably tell you this again, but international shipping is coming last. I want us to have everybody, the main bulk of books out, and both I and Wikid do not know 100% how much the shipping on this is going to cost us. So I want us to have the bulk of it done before we have to lay into international, which is going to be a thing. So we'll update that as we get to that point. But U.S. customers are going to get it first, then probably Canadians, because I think that one's also kind of easy. But we'll figure it out as we go, and of course I'll keep everybody updated.
Nice.
If you guys don't mind me stealing the mic for a sec, Eric just said that he's gonna be telling people all about Wikid Publishing, put a good word out for us.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much. You know,
he's a
we
great
all
guy.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And in fact,
Yeah, thank you for that.
I know it's probably known by some. I've been mentioned it before, but he's actually going to be one of our creators soon, as well as because we're going to be publishing his Ashcan that he worked on with Brett for the Changeling series.
Yeah, that's right.
On.
Yeah, I've got Eric still. Yeah, Eric, I think Eric told me he can have the ash can done within the year.
Nice, man. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That's gonna be great.
And I got a letter lined up that I want to try out. So yeah, that shouldn't take too long.
Cool.
Nice.
Aaron Calamuri asks, what about digital Jack Irons? Well, I'm hoping to have us ship a good amount of physical books first before we release it digitally to everybody who backed, and then that'll be up. I'm going to handle that distribution. I'm not 100% how I want to do it, just for the backers. After that point, Wick is going to handle the digital distribution, but hopefully within a month or two of Jack being shipped out to people and having it in their hands, we'll have digital up for purchase. That's my hope, because it would be good to start getting some actual profit in for both me and Wikid. But we'll see how that goes. But digital, of course, is planned. It's the easiest route. So hopefully that won't take too long. I just want those who put the extra effort and extra money into getting this happening to be satisfied first.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think it's important to make sure your backers are getting what they should be getting. You know, what you promised them, and there's nothing worse than falling through.
Of course, we're just talking about issue number 1 also. Issue number 2, I had hoped to come out by the end of December. At the rate art's coming in with how my artist's life is going and such, it's probably going to stall out into the spring. I really hope not. But that's just a warning here now, folks. People have been real patient with this first issue, so I'm hoping we'll get a little bit more. And once we actually have a machine set up and ready to run, then I think the output's going to be a lot quicker. But I need to be able to pay my artist to do so, and it's a slope on this current one. I paid him quite a bit more than he did for the first issue, but still not what his rate should be. And we're working together on that. And hopefully the next campaign will allow me to do 100% right by him and get this thing into a perpetual motion machine. Just keeps putting out shit. That's my hope.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
And you got to chase the dream, man. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Now, I want to bring up something kind of interesting. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, and I don't want to get anyone's hopes up or anything like that, or it's just it might not happen. But I did want to mention that something pretty cool happened at LA ComicCon last was it 2 weeks ago, a week ago at this point?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because LA, land of all the industry people and everyone who's working in Hollywood, basically. This woman who came up to the table and she told me she works on like basically kind of opting ideas and things for comics and different things for movies. And she was really interested in Decimators by Eli, and she picked it up, and I was telling her how it was about zombies and a little political satire and action and stuff, and it's futuristic and all that.
Imagine that as a TV series. That would be lynched by day 3. It would be totally worth it, mind you.
Right?
I will get a fatwa on my ass.
Oh boy.
In terms of Hollywood, it'll probably be in development hell for years.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. But the cool thing is, she mentioned how her bosses are really into sci-fi right now, and so she picked up a copy of it and said she would take a look at it and seriously take take it to her boss. So that's something if we ever, I give her a card as well. So if we ever if we end up hearing from them, I'll let you know.
Yeah, boy.
Yo.
Well, thanks for letting me know, guys. It means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think a Decimators movie would just be epic. Jeez.
Yeah,
man.
I can totally see it as as a Netflix TV show, something like that, like 10 chapters long, 10 episodes long, something like that. Yeah, I think it would work.
Yeah, man. So yeah,
look, I gotta get Changeling out just so I can get someone interested in making an animated series out of it. Then.
Hey, there you go.
Well,
no, yeah, it totally works as a as a kind of occult My Hero Academia thing.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
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 There you go.
Okay.
well,
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
I'll say this much though. I'll say this much though. I found probably the best thing I can use to market Changeling. Okay, now Matt Trin knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. It's probably really stupid, but I'll probably get you a lot of views.
Okay, so everyone knows that Netflix has that Chilling Adventures of Sabrina series out right now.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, everything they've been doing with that show just keeps landing them in hot water in the media, and the latest one is that they are getting sued by the Church of Satan.
That's bizarre.
So basically,
what's the basis? Defamation?
I don't know. Like,
I think,
dude, you'd be surprised.
You can't just drop that without background, man.
Dude, all I can say is, dude, you would be surprised how SJW the Satanists have gotten.
Actually,
No, I'm not. They've always been that way. Have you ever even been to a satanic gathering?
No, never.
I grew. Hello,
One or
pastor's kid. You think I was allowed to go within 10 feet of anything satanic?
Well, you don't know what you're going to till you do. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
And what you do is still the friendliest thing ever, except it takes a very dark turn, and then it's still really friendly, and they're still the nicest people fucking ever.
And you still go back, of course.
Well, I don't go back.
Well, I mean,
There's no reason
only
to.
At least 2 or 3 times, but I mean,
They didn't actually kill a real baby. I was really disappointed.
Aw,
I wanted
time.
to see the altar and
Lord,
such,
about
and it was just a chicken. I was like, I do that. That's my Friday morning.
You know?
Wake up, cut a chicken head off, drink the blood, and go.
Bunch of LARPers.
My day.
Yep.
That's what I do instead of coffee. Did that already today too, just extra boost.
They're the Satanists. They're a bunch of LARPers, to be honest. But yeah, okay. But basically, anytime Chilling Adventures of Sabrina does something that gets it in trouble, I grab whatever headlines out and I say, hey, you want my latest one? I just tweeted that article and said, hey, you want something that's not going to get sued by the Church of Satan? You should be checking out Changeling. I'm basically marketing it as the wholesome alternative.
Hey, Brett. I think the reason why they're getting sued is over an idol they used in the show that resembled something that the Church of Satan had trademarked.
Oh, okay.
A trademark issue.
You don't get to use or trademark Satan statue, man. You get a pay.
I think it's a Baphomet statue or whatever. Just like fuck.
Yeah,
just paid the fee.
You're gonna lose that one if it
those
is. That's old world. There's no, you can't. So they couldn't have trademarked it in the first place if it's actually a Baphomet. If it's a very specific thing they came up with of Baphomet, maybe. But if it's actually just Baphomet, they have no grounds.
I think
that shit's older than Samaria.
I think it's this effigy of Baphomet with the goat head and one hand up, the other hand down, holding something. The one in the tarot card.
That's actually Pan, but they call him Baphomet in Satanism. So I don't know. They're a trip. I mean, they got that statue up. Where was it? Ohio, Oklahoma. They got their statue up. If the Christians get to have the 10 Commandments, we get to have this, and they totally got that up for like a month or two, and then it was taken down.
There's the thing, like that version that. Like, there's kind of a difference between that branch of the Church of Satan and the one that was started by Anton LaVey, which was just a bunch of... The one with Anton LaVey, I think, was just, like, was just inverting everything Catholic. But there was this version that was started by two guys that I think are actually atheists. They were basically doing it to troll Christians.
That's one way to say it. Satanism's old as like the Golden Dawn. I'm a big occult guy. I could get into some old occult histories here, but the main point is, it's a little bit like that, but it's honestly just the old pagan religions just repackaged. So it's nothing.
It's like Wicca.
Nothing special. Yeah, well, Wicca's an old pagan religion. I mean, they worship the first whore. What's her name? Lilith.
Oh
So
yeah, I remember her
it's not a
from
big
Supernatural.
I thought Wicca was like taking a bunch of like old Celtic traditions and trying to repackage them as like New Age or shit. Or
so
shit.
you do know
there's actually worshiping
ancient
horse. I'm
cults.
cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, most ancient cults come from the same basic pagan beliefs with different names for the same gods. So at the end of the day, yeah, sure, it's Celtic, but it's also Latin, it's Spanish, it's French, it's German. It's basically just European old world religion repackaged.
Honestly, I'll say the LARPiest pagans I've seen are like the Norse ones.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they're still all right. I'd take an Odin worshiper over a Lilith one just because I know what Odin's about. Lilith is very two-faced.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Odin's like, I'll save your ass, but you better be killing for me. That's two-faced, but you know what's going on. Lilith's like, kill for me, and I'll do something.
Give you that. I will give you that one.
So you know,
Aaron Calamari says, unless I get to meet Satan, I'm not joining.
Well, you do, as long as you want to, die for the church.
yeah, exactly. You can meet him anytime you want.
Or if they're trying to have a baby, that's a big one. But
I hate bringing back Hellblazer real quick. That Garth Ennis has run on that with the whole baby. You remember? You guys know what I'm talking about? Cody
I don't know if I got to Ennis's run.
I think. Wasn't this the one that was like a proto version of Preacher?
It was basically a proto version of Preacher where an angel and a demon have a baby together, and now it's like this abomination.
Oh, a Nephilim? Okay.
And that's
actually
basically what.
Nephilim has a lot of definitions in pop culture now, and I'm going with the
what I understand it. Okay, if you're going by the old school biblical definition,
no, I'm going
Nephilim
by
the
one.
Well. Yeah, well,
which
if you're
includes
going
Diablo 3 and shit. So
I'm going. Yeah, well, I go by the original definition, which says that a Nephilim is the spawn of an angel and a human.
Oh, and a human.
I just go by an angel and anybody at this point.
Okay.
And that's basically what it is at this point. So and sometimes it doesn't even have to do with angels anymore. They just like using that word.
I think like Assassin's Creed said the Nephilim were like the progenitors of the human race or something.
Yeah, that's one
they do their own mythology though.
Yeah, so
that's a whole other story. Oh boy. But no, sorry. I just thought it was kind of an interesting.
Yeah, no. I've got to catch up on my reading. I just picked up The Dark Tower, so I got to tear through all those books. That's gonna be a thing. Yeah, I know it's a good luck. It's definitely a good luck situation. But I have to do it because the genre I'm stepping into. So.
The what?
The genre I'm stepping into.
Oh,
yeah, cowboy sci-fi.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's pretty smart.
He's pretty much the king of it. So he's Stephen King.
Cody, while we're on that subject, did you also take having to take any inspiration from say Vampire Hunter D?
Nope. Anime I took inspiration were Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Space Dandy a little bit for comedy. Let's see. Oh God, there's so many.
That might be a good one for you to read too, Cody. At least the first novel.
I was gonna say watch the movies.
If you don't want to read it.
Vampire Hunter
movie. That's a really
Vampire Hunter D only had 2 movies
for that.
They have 27 books. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, that's neat.
A lot of anime.
Are you very familiar with the series at all, Cody? Or
no, not really.
It's basically.
It's got vampires. I'm not dealing with supernatural barely at all.
The reason I think he brought it up was only because it, like you said, does have supernatural stuff, but it's surprisingly it takes place in the future, 12,000 years from now, and it's basically got a lot of Western elements, but also futuristic elements. So I think that's the part he was kind of similar.
Right on.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Yeah, it's totally
Yeah, it's
the main inspiration though for the moment. I'm shooting real high in anime. It's One Piece.
Oh wow, really?
A world like One Piece. I'm really trying to build a world like One Piece.
Oh wow, an expansive type kind of world, or
yeah, it's gonna be huge.
Wow.
The plans with my editor are massive. My artist asked me to explain the story. He doesn't speak English so well, so because he was doing some layouts for page 3 and he was trying to understand my main villains. And I tried to explain the main villains, and I think he got it. But he's like, "Oh, well, then what's the overall story?" And that email was very long, and I have not heard back from him.
Damn.
But I am very I know everything's good. It's just that he does drop off the radar like that, and that was probably a good cue for him to do so. But the main point is it's not easy for me to explain. He asked for the interview answer in particular, and I told him the interview answer is it's just the struggle of humanity against the forces that keep it down. I mean, that's really basic. That's my interview answer. If you want me to go into specifics, it's there's a lot. You would have to pick a point because I've been world building this for about a decade, and even more so since the campaign and since I've actually been having to plot and plan everything out, and since this other series, Cactus Coyote. There's a lot to this world I can answer, which is great. It's just hard putting it into streamlined terms for folks, and I'm hoping that's a good thing. It means it's deep. And I'm hoping it doesn't mean it's convoluted, but it doesn't come off convoluted to me or anybody else I bounce it off of. So I think I'm okay. It's just the language barrier, I think, that spooked Maxie a little bit, maybe. But we'll
really?
See. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot planned. There's 5 arcs of Jack planned. I'm hoping to do more than that because that's only about 25 issues. So I'm hoping to do more than that. But if we only get that, I'll be happy. Because it's plotted out and I know how it ends. So if we only get that, he does not get off of Earth though, which would be kind of sad. So we'll see.
Whoa! Are you saying Jack could go into space?
That's what Cactus Coyote's implying. Yeah.
Same thing with Space Force, technically.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Alternate world. Yeah. Yeah, it's totally part of that. Yeah. I'm hoping we get out before that, so they can't say first appearance of Jack Irons Trump Space Force.
That's true. I'm sure we'll get it out before then. I would hope.
I don't know. They're printed.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're printed.
Yeah, they're printed.
We can get ours printed in a week though, so that's not that's not an issue.
It'll be pretty goddamn close, and that's kind of cool too. Honestly, and I don't even think they refer to him by name in the book. I think it's just a neat little picture. So.
Right. No,
really
yeah.
Nice, Tim Lim to do for me.
And yeah, like you said, and who knows, maybe it coming out first might even be a good thing. They'll say, "Oh, dude, Jack Irons. Oh, that's right, dude. I need to check out Jack Irons, or like that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Or, whatever."
Yeah, that's my hope. I'm hoping it does the same thing for Rags. I know Regina's in there in some form.
Oh, okay.
And I know a couple other people who have some good cameos in there. So we'll see. That book's an enigma. I'm curious what's going to happen when it releases. I'm very very interested.
That's is that one by Antarctic Press by any chance, or is that just a solo thing?
I think that's just solo. I think it was just Tim Lim, Brett Smith, and Dixon, and they just put out something they wanted to.
Okay, yeah. Nice.
It could be Antarctic, though, thematically, but I don't believe it is. Maybe because they don't want Brett Smith or Chuck Dixon, particularly Chuck Dixon. He's kind of I love Chuck Dixon as a writer and creator, but in terms of optics, he goes all over the place, and he's an old man, so I don't blame him. He probably don't even know what's going on. So,
where am I?
It's more like he doesn't care.
Yeah, that too, and so that's fine. But I can see how Antarctic might not want to take on a high-profile guy. That's, I mean, they already had problems with Richard Meyer, so I understand.
For the record, that's not really his fault, though.
No, I wasn't saying it was. Problems with Richard Meyer's project, I guess, would have been a little bit better to say.
Right.
But nonetheless, it was that.
Unfortunate.
It was job.
We all know whose fault it was, and his name rhymes with Spade.
Wow, it rhymes a lot of stuff there.
His name rhymes.
Yeah, not a big fan of either of them for making those GoFundMes. I'm really pissed that both of them made it. I was really pissed Wade did. I was so pissed Wade made a GoFundMe, but then Richard made one to combat it, and that
that wasn't him. That was Ethan. That was Van Sciver. That was his doing.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that makes sense. Just that whole situation, it's just so dirty. These fans already gave you enough money to make your dreams come true, and you're going to fucking milk them even more for some drama bullshit that really should not be part of this industry? Great. Wade has no fucking excuse. He's written on icons for decades. He should not be poor enough to have to ask everybody else to pay his goddamn legal fees. Especially
when he's able to live in Santa Monica.
Too, for a while, too.
The only thing I'm wondering about is the guy's attorney, isn't he got like the same name just with like a Z or something?
Yeah,
What
that
the hell is
was
that
weird.
It's
about?
actually
Dude?
Mark
Fuck
Waid
is
with a
that?
fake mustache and a couple of fake sunglasses.
Right? Jeez, that's exactly what I pictured, man. It's like, come
Like,
on.
I'll just say this: like, whatever happens with the suit, Mark Waid is going to be made as big a fool in court as Maddox was when he had that lull suit with Dick Masterson. And about the only thing that Waid has over Maddox is that he hired a more reputable lawyer.
Yeah, well, this lawyer's going to try and bully them out of court and to settle. I know it. That's their main goal.
Yeah, well, is Wade's lawyer a dog bite attorney who has an active DUI on his record and has to pat the breathalyzer to use his vehicle? I don't think so.
Here's where it gets really scummy with us GoFundMe is that they're going to try to get dismissed. Waid did that GoFundMe just because he wants the money.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly, that's why I'm saying it. And how I went about it, because I don't go attacking anybody. It's just not my style. I don't care what they're doing. It's just not my thing. I don't start shit. But I did mention, it says a lot about Marvel that Mark Waid has to ask the fans for money to defend all these, underclass people, as he wants to phrase it, all these minorities and disadvantaged folks, because that's why he's being attacked, of course. And it's just so Marvel doesn't have his back on it, money-wise, so he's got to ask the fans. And if he doesn't have it, then they're not paying him enough. So what the fuck is with this industry that somebody like Mark Waid can't afford it? That's how I went about it. And it's obviously they're both lies. They can't afford it. Both of them can afford it. He's just asking for money. But it says a lot that they don't tend to mention we could have had his back, or I could have paid this myself out of my own principles, but I need this because. No. I just need your money for Nazis.
To be honest, I don't think Marvel is able to pay for anything anymore. I mean,
that sounds right. I don't
from what I've heard, they're constantly doctoring the books to make it look like they're. I'm not gonna say losing money, but that they're more successful than they actually are.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, more and more it seems that Disney, because now that they own Marvel, they're actually like hiring out of Marvel to do the comics for them. Marvel, Marvel can't even do it.
They outsourced to IDW, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, to be more kid friendly. That's how they're approaching it.
Which is funny.
It's Disney. After all, it's Disney behind the scenes, pulling the strings.
Well, and also at this point, Marvel's just Disney's propaganda wing for their movies. It has no other marketable purpose. It doesn't grow, and it's not gaining them money. It barely grows their IPs, and if it does, it's growing them in a direction that the people who used to buy the books do not enjoy. So it's just scaring people, and they're trying to attract new people. And I'm sure they get a few, but they don't stick with the books because the books inherently aren't great. They're not something to go back in and pick up. You're
not kidding, man.
So it's just it's honestly a facade, and it's a scary one, because if Marvel's not there to keep DC in check, then DC has a monopoly and vice versa. And I think both of them don't care about comics anymore. So it's just they're both going to crumble into something and not leave the industry with anywhere to really turn except for independence, which is great. But I don't know what those independents are going to do with that newfound power, which is kind of what we're seeing in Comicsgate, how things are shifting and shuffling. Just yesterday was a shit show on every fucking side. I couldn't be happy about anybody, and I just so I don't know. I just want to get my comics out.
I'm saying that we need to avoid the Reservoir Dogs episode of our history, in which we get away with the money, but then we gather at a warehouse and we kill each other.
Well, at least somebody wins in that.
That's probably what needs to happen. That's probably what's happening right now.
That's absolutely what's happening. We became successful. We made a lot of money. Now we're killing each other to divvy it up.
Yeah. Canal's kind of nailed that.
We're all
right
competing
on the
for the same
head.
glory.
And it's not just Comicsgate either. It's the whole independent comic scene, and that's the issue. Comicsgate is just the big face because it got all the money. But it's the whole
I think a lot of that. I think a lot of why I was gonna say, I think Matt Trin and I have discussed this before, and I think a lot of the reason why things have gotten the way they are in the comics industry, like everyone remembers back when Gamergate was a thing, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Enough.
We never saw it get this ugly in the gaming industry. What's you know what the biggest difference between the gaming industry and the comics industry is? There isn't as much of a barrier to entry in the comics industry as there is with gaming. It costs not just that. I mean, like, it costs a lot. It's stupid cheap on how with what it takes to make a comic these days. Like, there's like almost most of the overhead is eliminated if you go through the online market, and if you can hook up with a cheap artist, and like, it's just that it's a lot easier to do it in this day and age. You can't do that with a video game. That takes a lot more time, money, and resources.
Well, it takes it. The main reason is because it takes. I'm just gonna say there's a lot less professionals in coding and design than there are artists, and so that's just a market right there.
Yeah.
So they can price themselves higher, and because their skills may take more effort or less effort, it depends. Once again, there's artists who are going to price themselves higher than coders. It's just the nature of the market. There's more demand for coding, and there's less people doing it. And in comics, there's a lot of artists and a lot of creators with dreams. And as you said, the barrier is different. There's plenty of people who want to make a game, but they don't have the money or the expertise. But they can still try and crowdfund something if they can find the team, just like comics. So it's kind of, they're different because of the industry's natures. They're two different beasts, more than how much easier it is for comics. I think it's just the nature of two different beasts.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I wouldn't say that's untrue, Cody, but it's just like almost anybody can get into the comics industry these days. Not just anyone can get into the gaming industry.
Especially
just anybody can get into the comics, though, either, Brad. Not just anybody.
It takes
drive.
You got to look at it this way. I have to agree with Cody, but at the same time, I do agree with Brett. I mean, like you were saying, Cody, each one has its own expertise. I mean, when I first started, I was going for games. The whole thing that really separates it is, how are you going to do it? That's what separates it. How big is your market? And I mean, when you look at the numbers for games versus comics and everything, the numbers are completely different because they're two different mediums. Because you can become more immersed inside of a video game than you can with comics. It all depends on your level of, you could say, of imagination, I guess.
Yeah, and I think actually, I would have to look, but with what happens on Steam and such, I don't know which markets. I think the gaming market's bigger. There's more people to hit, but the fish in the ocean is more crap. I think we get less crap comics than there are crap games, and so we can. So it's easier to find good stuff in the indie comics, so you get customers easier, I guess would be the other advantage. But it's also a much smaller market, so there's less customers to get.
I think honestly,
it is a lot more of a niche market. That's definitely for sure. But it's a lot more. It's a lot more easier to make games in a sense because you can just use your preset stuff or just stuff.
See, I kind of view it different. Matt, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I kind of see it a little differently actually. Like I see the way I see it, the reason that games, you said the games are easier to make, but at the same time, they also take so much more people that when you're working with so many more people, there's a lot more chances for things to go wrong and to not turn out quite as well as you may have hoped. So it's easier for a game, in my opinion, to fail than a comic.
Take those kind of things into consideration.
But that's why.
Hey, Josh from Animations is in the chat.
Hey, what's up?
Howdy. But yeah, it's a hell of a thing. It's just like the barrier to independent animation, I would say, is much higher than even gaming.
But animations could tell us about that.
Yeah,
like I said,
I've seen how much he's worked on things, and it's just nuts how much work. Yeah, see, you know it, dog. It's just all of this. Basically, comics is a great start, and I agree. It's easier than to get a presence and to get your IP out there through comics than it would be through gaming. But you can use the same methods with comics as you do with gaming. It's just, I would say it probably takes a little bit more work and a little bit more hands-on activity to organize and get things going. And that's a hell of a thing. And I just don't think anybody can get into comics unless you consider everybody having the ability and drive and will to get it done. In which case, yes.
Yeah,
I don't think everybody can.
That I'm not going to disagree with, Cody. Like I said, like when it's kind of more like it's that line from Ratatouille. Not anyone can be a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Throw down that Pixar love. I'll take it.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's actually pretty smart.
That is a perfect.
Yeah, I
quote.
think that holds up for any industry. Basically, it was my whole point. Is anybody can make it, but it's going to be hard. And yeah, comics might be an easier place to start. Certainly, I never had any delusions to start anything else because I know the barriers. So that might be a whole thing to consider right there. As Brett was saying, is that I just looked and I knew the amount of people I'd need or the expertise I'd need is just too much for my means.
For like movies are like that too, you know.
Yeah, well, you can go pure independent film.
Well, that's true.
Slick Jimmy from Little Girl Lethal. He's worked on independent movies. He can tell you about like it's how much of a barrier there is on that.
Really?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's something there too. But that's if you wanted to get seen. Otherwise, you're stuck with YouTube and basically doing what we're doing. Once again, it's a very similar method. You have to gain a following, and you have to get them to want the thing, and you have to then provide the thing, and then the thing has to be good, and then people have to want more. Those are all things that have to happen, and they're all very difficult.
It's kind of amazing, like how much technology has made things easier, but at the same time, things are you still got all these barriers.
Yeah, you open up the barriers to a bunch of people.
The evolution of how things are adapting.
What?
I didn't catch that. That's that, Matt.
Or Cody.
I'll let Cody go.
Oh, okay. Well, I said my piece, and it is gone. It is now
it is in the ether.
The man himself, guys. The man himself is in the chat. It's Brian.
Oh wow,
Mr. Brian Ball,
musical
guest Brian Ball. No SNL fans? No? Okay.
Nope.
Oh, hey, Brian.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Hey guys, he noticed me first.
Well, good for you.
Of course he knows. Hey, you should be noticing me. Yes, he noticed.
See, Brett's gonna cry because Senpai didn't notice him, huh? Well, I'm my own goddamn Senpai, and I noticed Brian.
Host Senpai gave him his character to use as a supporting character.
Me?
That's right, me.
Both of you, actually. I don't really need Regina at the moment.
Yeah, well, I can claim that I have the original.
Hey, I've got Jack Irons in there as a movie poster.
Oh, that's fun.
And I give the Quarters some personality.
So does that mean that Regina is a fan of Jack Irons then?
I think more of a Sporkman fan.
Jack's also more of a Sporkman fan because that's totally a movie franchise of Jack too. There's going to be a poster in issue 2.
Nice, dude, that's awesome.
Speaking of fan,
I want to do something with the unicorn onesie in issue 2. I'm not going to do anything with Regina, but I might do something with the unicorn onesie. And it's true, Regina is buddies with Jack in some canon we have being built. Good buddies, old buddies. But Jack's a lot different in that the world around him is actually a world, and it's not a piece of shit crumbling apart, enslaved by some horrible forces. So yeah, it's different.
So it's not.
Jack's a lot sadder, but he's a lot sweeter. I don't know. I like my writing with it so far.
Oh, poor Jack.
Brian had to slap around my Regina writing a little bit to get it to actually be Regina writing, but
That's
I'll take
fair.
it.
Yeah. Only Brian would know Regina, so.
Of course he would.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I am
You
actually
say
trying
that,
to talk.
Brian, and you know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. Ask the two wicked people here, okay?
Hey.
All I'm gonna say is
apocalyptic dystopia. Okay.
Oh,
all I'm gonna say
just
is
pre-nuclear.
Do you want to know what? Do you want to know why Washington is superior to California? Washington didn't criminalize infecting people with HIV.
Yeah,
that's very
obscure.
I remember that. They also have the code for nuclear launch.
They did legalize pot, so they did. I guess they had that. You know, they had to balance it out somehow, right?
Well, they needed to make money.
Hey guys, I'm afraid I have to leave now.
Oh no!
Oh, we're losing our favorite to buy.
Yeah.
Any final words for us today? Anything like to tell the fans out there?
Nothing special. Thank you for having me here. I love you all in a completely heterosexual way.
That is so disappointing.
I know. I was like, damn. If you just stop there.
I'm fine with that.
Wait until it's New Year's Eve and I get looser. You know what?
Give a couple of drinks.
Come back to me.
I will play my cards.
Got to open up a little.
We'll get this.
Well, thanks again for coming, man. We really enjoyed having you on today.
Oh, no, it's been a pleasure, man. You know, anytime. I love hanging with all of you guys.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, hopefully we'll see you on the next podcast, and we'll be in touch about Decimator's print version coming out soon, getting those proofs to you.
Awesome. You know where to find them.
Yeah, I sure do.
I'm always stuck to the computer, so it's not hard for me. All right,
awesome,
take care, guys.
Well, take care, man.
Later.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
All right, so
Can-
Josh asked me if J-Pop makes his race at least could make a cameo in Jack Irons. Absolutely, we'll figure that out, Josh. I think that'll work. At the very least, we can totally toss you into Cactus Coyote.
What's J-Pop?
He would fit perfect there. J-Pop's his original character. It's an alien in a free suit. I believe,
wow!
Because he comes from an ice planet, I believe.
In a what kind of a suit?
Of course, know much better. It's kind of like a Mr. Freeze suit. It's a cool
Oh, I
suit.
thought you said a pre-suit.
Keeps him cold. I said freeze, FRZ.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, I could see how you'd hear that.
I loved it, man. Where's the comic for this character at?
I think he's working on Pineapple Pizza Man right now. So
I'm a little busy.
I'm more all over that. But J-Pop is part of a large group of creators that are working.
Sounds exciting.
Things. So yeah, there's some fun things coming down way down the pipeline. But yeah,
nice.
keep an eye on J-Pop. Hopefully we can get his race should be easy. I can definitely get it in Cactus Coyote, easy, brother. But Jack, I'd like to get him in Jack, just as a background guy drinking or something. That shouldn't be too hard.
I feel. Is it about a car race? When you say race, do you mean what do you mean exactly? Oh, I was thinking like a car, like a galactic car race. Think like that one anime movie. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. No,
you go for it, man. That's pretty much all I got. You go for it, man. I want to hear what you were.
Oh, okay. There is a race arc in Cactus Coyote at some point.
Oh wow, really?
So that'll be fun. We could definitely we could go full lay into this in joke if we need to. Yeah, let's see. From Ken Luna. I don't know who Luna is, but there are plenty of moons in Jack Irons, so I think we got you covered. We'll just call it Luna.
Luna is Eric's original character from his comic that he's working on called Imagine.
Oh yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, you told me a little bit about Imagine the other day. Actually.
Sorry if I haven't seen it before, but I'm sure when I see it, I'm really not. I'm trying not to shove so much into Jack, but I'm happy for anybody to shove Jack into things. So if you want,
that just sounds so wrong, dude. Why did you have to say it that way?
I want people to shove Jack into things.
Oh boy.
You go right ahead. Just get a hold of me first.
Just shove Jack in whatever you want. don't shove too many things into Jack, but you know you're good to shove.
Well, that doesn't matter
anything
either. The guy's immortal. It's nothing he hasn't dealt with before.
Yeah,
Let's just hope all I can say is I hope there's lube involved.
Oh God, there's no lube in the future. That's what makes it so dystopic.
Yeah. The great lube wars of 1996.
Yeah, exactly. Man, can't wait for that issue.
Lubeline.
Oh God, they just
Give me that
just.
Lubeline.
Oh, there's nothing left to drink. Oh, I need some lube.
Oh God.
Yeah, see, this is when I'm actually able to show up on streams, folks. So careful what you wish for, because this is what happens. And
you might
rub the lotion on its skin.
Oh no!
Yeah, people have asked that. Where does Jack get his leather? I've had to answer that before. There's not very much wildlife. Let's just say that.
Mm.
Going a little darker.
So when
special leather.
Oh, we're talking full on Donner Party, aren't we?
I mean, he might not eat them. It'd probably be all Old West, skinned buffalo style of people.
That's actually a really interesting question that I have. Does Jack Irons have to eat food?
Does he have to? No. I'm following a lot of rules from Wolverine and Deadpool. Because they kind of set the stage for this kind of hero in terms of how the powers can interact with the world. And so far, Wolverine has been able to fast indefinitely. The main problem is pain. But both characters know pain very well, so it's not this hardest thing to ignore. So he doesn't have to eat, but he could eat. He probably enjoys it because it's something different, especially in a dystopia where most people are starving and shit. He doesn't have to, but then he shows up and finds something. Yeah, it'd be nice. Probably doesn't hurt as bad and probably won't be as weak. But yeah, he doesn't have to eat. The main fear, his main weakness would be capture and seclusion. He's claustrophobic. You get him down in a cave, you can keep him stuck there for eternity.
Fuck, dude, that's terrifying.
By himself for eternity.
Yeah, so that's literally the scariest thought to me.
That's his weakness. Jeez. You can bury him in concrete. Punisher almost did that to Doc in Wolverine's Son. Damn, Wolverine showed up too soon though, but he was totally gonna get buried in concrete.
Damn.
That's one way to do it. There's only a few ways to do that kind of thing. Jackie'd have to completely disintegrate, which is impossible. Just based on natural law, you can't make something completely disappear. So he can't.
Is that Jack's law?
Destroyed. Might as well call it that. No, it's one of Newton's.
Oh, okay, yeah. that old guy. He did a few things.
But nonetheless, you can reduce him to an atom, and he'd still respawn from that atom pretty goddamn quickly. There's not much time for his wounds to heal and shit. It doesn't take much. More catastrophic, the quicker he'll just reappear. But and that's where the mystic end of my universe kind of begins and ends. There's a little bit more to it, but it's that. I don't really have magic. I don't really have it's more just ways people are utilizing science. It's a lot like Warhammer 40K in terms of it's magic, but it's science.
It's Isaac Clarke, not Isaac Clarke, Arthur C. Clarke's third law of motion. If the technology is advanced enough, it's indistinguishable from magic.
Exactly.
It's actually Clarke's law.
I think if we put them all together, it's Jack's law.
Right. That is the perfect name for it, Jack's law.
And if they were all still alive, they'd sue you for infringement.
Oh, I'm not copywriting it. I'm just saying it forever.
Right. Exactly. Right, there won't be any pages in Jack Irons where they talk about Jack's law, I'd imagine.
I don't know. Who knows? The guy is an expert engineer, so maybe
Jack?
it could have something to do with that. Yeah, expert engineer and coder. He designed the two horses. He made.
Oh wow, this dude's a smart guy. He's smart.
He's in a
split it into two and put it into the robot horses and gave it a directive. Yeah.
Skynet. He split Skynet into two and put him into two horses. Is that that's what you said?
Yeah, basically. It was about Skynet. He made a sentient AI. He made a new form of life, and he's like, "Oh God, what is it gonna do?" And so he put it into two bodies where it would have to figure out how to use the bodies like a natural animal would have to. And so it's not even aware it's not a horse.
Dude, that's pretty awesome. Did you guys go into the horses in some of the later issues?
Yes, we go into a lot of the background in the later issues as it goes. First arc establishes our first anti-villain, I guess is the way to say it, because he is a villain, but he's going to be helping Jack throughout everything, whether or not he wants to, and how he goes about it, called Tracker, Top Predator. I'm really stoked for Tracker. We got his design in. He uses a giant totem pole rifle. It's a hell of a character. I'm really stoked.
Is he the Native American by any chance?
Oh, man, this sounds cool.
Is he a Native American by any chance?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, he's an immortal as old as Jack, but not the same way. And his main thing is hunting kaiju. The books are just going to be action. There's not going to be much dialogue. It's just going to be killing giant things and then using the items to make other things. It's very much like Monster Hunter, but meets a sci-fi world with kaiju. And I'm really I'm stoked for every series we have coming. But Tracker is going to be a lot of fun just because, once again, we get to explore the bigger things. Jack deals with people. Tracker deals with monsters. Coyote deals with aliens. And you guys will see what the Golden Monk deals with when
I honestly didn't realize, I don't know why I didn't realize this until just now, but how big of a universe you really are planning with all these different series.
Oh, yeah, it's massive. We have the Galactic Government down. We have the history of those down. The Galactic Government, what's holding back the main villains. I can't really talk about too much till issue 2 comes out.
No, that's fair. That's fair, yeah.
It'll finish setting up the world. You'll see who the 4 villains are. 5 if you count Tracker. He's more of a Vegeta, though.
It sounds more like you make Tracker sound more like Jack's rival than enemy.
Yeah. It's kind of what it is.
That's probably why
hates
he said
Jack
like
he
Vegeta.
wants to kill him, but he can't be top predator if he can't kill something. And guess what can't die?
Jack
Irons.
That's one of the conflicts. He can't be the baddest thing in the universe if he can't kill something.
Is this a rivalry that goes back like all the way?
It goes back to Jack's cowboy days. Yeah, his first the life where shit's going down. All the previous lives, no. I mean, I could. That's what I did with this universe.
Wait,
there's infinite options.
Holy shit, you're blowing my mind here. Okay, so you're telling me that we're going to see Jack not just in the future, of course, future Western, but an actual like Western time period?
Issue 3, yes.
What?
Did you not read? Man. Did you not read the first issue, Michael? Michael,
I read it, but I forgot about that part. Now, I read it from Cam. I didn't think about like that. We go back to that part. I kind of thought that was one and done.
Yeah, the vibe I got, Cody, you're gonna have the definitive take on this because this is your baby.
Yeah, of course.
But the vibe I got from the first issue was that Jack has had past lives. He's been reincarnated multiple times throughout history.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen? So he's done that.
That's exactly how I saw him.
Yeah. And he gets all these lives. The cowboy life, when he's born in 1812, I'm not going to... I want people to love the character, so I don't mind saying some stuff. But there's a lot I want to reveal through the books. When he's born in... he's not born in 1812. He's born before that. He fought in the War of 1812. But that's where he finds out that he's immortal. And that's also in issue 4. You find out the origins of the immortality and a little bit of the rules and such. But basically, that last life in issue 1 where he was a native, there's a very specific page, and our colorist did a great job of highlighting this moment with his colors. And there's a moment in issue 1 where shit went down. It's real quick. It's only 3 panels. But you can see, and as you read the books, you can look back on that as, but how'd this happen, and who is this guy, and why this happened? And my goal is to leave that mystery and feed it throughout the whole series, with the ending being fucking amazing, if I do say so myself. I'm so stoked for it. But it's so many issues out. It's a hell of a reveal. Has to do with a lot of neat stuff we're establishing. Like I said, hopefully that 5th arc, the ending arc I have planned, actually doesn't take place on Earth, and so it'll be issues and issues away. But if it is that 5th arc on Earth, it's still going to be satisfying. The ending works either way, which is cool. But I'm really hoping we get to pump it out to a lot of fucking issues, because this ending's satisfying, short or long. And I think it's a little bit more long because the characters more. But we'll see. We'll see. But there's a lot to this world, and I hope people dig it as much as I do. Because I fucking love this world I'm making with my buddy here, the guy who's helping me with Cactus Coyote. He's trying to stay anonymous, So that's why I just refer to my buddy or the editor guy or the
You
guy
should
I'm
give him a
working
little
with.
moniker. You could even call him just Mr. Coyote or something.
Well, I think the writing credits are actually going to go straight to Cactus Coyote, which is I think
Okay,
great.
nice.
But we'll see. That's mainly up to him.
Do you mind talking just a little bit about the Golden Monk, maybe?
Okay, well, so
if you don't mind, if it's
no, I
soft
don't
villainous, I totally
don't
understand.
At all. There's, like I said, 4 main enemies in Jack's world. And it's not just his world; they're also omnipresent in the multiverse. They're everywhere. But his world is the thing we deal with first. And within that world, issue 2 tells you how things got to where they are. But they have what can be considered kingdoms or territories that belong to them. And he is in the Europe and Asian territory with a specific one of these characters, and he's kind of fighting them. His main bit is he's he was in the 60s training in a Shaolin temple. Jack shows up for some training and to just figure out his life, whatever the hell kind of life it is, all that. And after that, he's this Shaolin temple has been working a very long time to breed a very specific type of fighter, of monk, of warrior. And eventually he's chosen, and he has to go pray under a sacred tree. What he doesn't know, when he gets under that tree, very much like the Buddha, he's going to be stuck there for a very long time. And that's what happens. He awakens about 70 years in the future under this sacred tree. And he's an old man, and it's just him discovering this world and trying to set it right. And it's a post-apocalyptic world. It's the shit world Jack lives in, and so
dude, that sounds really good.
Old Asian guy trying to repair the world. He's also very lecherous. We're going with that old bit. He's very master.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
You said Asian. You said the whole trying to repair the world. Is that like is that a bit like kung fu?
Yeah, kinda, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
is he? Well, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, by the way, Eric just asked in the chats. So kind of like the animated series Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think he's referring to Jack's reincarnation.
Yeah. Well, not Jack. Well, that's okay. Okay, both Jack and kind of like Avatar, where he gets frozen and then unfrozen with Monk
70 years later.
Yeah, so it's very similar to that, and I would actually say that's gonna have a heavy influence on the actual Monk series. I'm a big fan of Last Airbender.
That's smart. Yeah, but I love that series. But now, is he immortal like Jack, or is he just a regular human? Well,
he's a spiritually advanced human. Could he be killed? We'll have to see. But just like a lot of the characters in the series, Jack's the only one I'm going to confirm he can't die because that's his hook. So
that's the only one that's confirmed. As an immortal,
and Tracker,
for sure at this point.
Tracker, I don't have him defined so much. I do have him written, and he is quote unquote immortal. He can't be killed by wounds. I haven't said,
but he may have how that works. Imperfect immortality.
Yeah, exactly. Perhaps. So we'll see. Yeah, exactly. We'll see how that goes. Tracker's plans, if anybody's curious, is to do little 6-page little ash cans in the back of Jack Iron's issues, starting with issue 3. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, here's something that something I kind of caught, like I kind of picked up on with Jack, but this is something I don't think that we're gonna see in that. Did Highlander play any bit of an influence on this? Because
no, I haven't seen Highlander, but I know exactly what it is and how it is about, and I am not surprised people see that, really at all. It's one of those things that just occurred without me knowing it. Like, God, what was it? A lot of people compare my work to Dark Tower. I never heard of Dark Tower before recently. A lot of people compare it to they compared it to Star Wars. Of course, I know Star Wars, but that wasn't a direct influence. So there's a lot of things that are just coming in the peripheries that are totally. I'm sure if people see it there, then yeah, we're drinking once again. We're drinking from the same Kool-Aid, just like Fallout from Mad Max. I drink from Mad Max, so therefore I kind of feel like Fallout.
Yeah, well, the thing with Highlander is like there's dozens of immortals, but they actually can be killed if you cut their heads off.
Yeah, no, there's Jack is totally he's completely impervious. You think Vandal Savage? I haven't seen how far they've destroyed Vandal Savage, but whatever his limit is, Jack would surpass that. The main point is this Again, there's so much to the world. There's so much I want to say, but I at least have to wait till issue 2 comes out.
Jonah Hex meets Highlander. Well, yeah, minus the decapitation, I guess.
It's kind of Jonah Hex meets Wolverine. I mean, if you want to be close, because you can decapitate Wolverine, but he loses memory. Jack does not lose memory when his brain's destroyed. Everything's made the same. There's no loss. In fact, the original version of him, to tell you how much Wolverine influenced him, had unbreakable bones. Yeah, I went that way in the original version. Totally took that out. He had so much extra bullshit attached to him, the original version. I had a story for his steel coat and how it's some alien thing with it's weighs like a sun, but it's got alien tech in there that makes it weigh like nothing, so it's super impervious. I wanted to do that, but I'm not going to do that. There's like his guns. I had an acronym for his pistol. It was called the BEAPH, the BEAPH, the Ballistic Engagement All-Purpose Handgun. That's no longer a thing. So yeah, he's changed a lot. But mainly it's like Jonah Hex meets Wolverine in a Mad Max world with Men in Black aliens.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, still, I mean, like, it's just like, I'll say this much about the University of God, Cody. There's nothing else like it.
Thank God, or else I'd be screwed.
It's definitely a one of a kind universe.
That's my hope, and I hope it builds and people see that uniqueness and actually enjoy it. Because you can be unique all you want, and if it's so niche, nobody really likes it, then you're screwed. I think we're all right. I think I'm all right, but future will tell. You know.
Yeah. Very true, and so I'm sure you have plenty of plans for issue 3, but you're probably keeping most of that under wraps at this time, I'd imagine.
My partner's read them. A couple people have read my scripts. There's so this guy, he's a pretty prolific writer that I'm working with, and he has great ideas for how to do things, and then I give him my scripts and he reads them and he's like, that's not the idea I had, but for somehow it works. And so I've been surprised every time because I don't think my writing's very good.
You gotta have more confidence in yourself, man.
Better. And it's, this world is going to get really rough in Jack Irons. That's what Cactus Coyote's for. Cactus Coyote it has the same roughness there, but it's chuckling at it. This one, there's the laughter's not even there.
There's nothing to chuckle at.
Yeah. It's rough. Issue 2 is still kind of fun, but you see what humanity's went through, and it's not pleasant. Issue 3 is rough as hell. Somebody gets their heart cut out and cooked.
Oh shit!
I thought you said you were aiming for I thought you said you were aiming for PG-13 with Jack Irons.
Oh no, Jack is M.
That's all how you portray it.
In what? In your mind?
No, once it hits the page, you can cut out somebody's heart PG. You don't show it.
Look at issue 1, man. You fucking cut the dude's head off.
Well, now that I think about it, because now that I think about it, didn't Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom get a PG rating?
Yep.
Well, that was back in the day when everything got a PG rating, man.
No, it got a PG rating, but it caused PG-13 to happen because they couldn't
sell it. No,
really?
Red Dawn caused... No, that was Red Dawn that invented PG-13.
That's not what I heard. Spielberg lobbied. Spielberg and George Lucas lobbied for it to the MPAA,
from what I heard,
or whatever the fuck.
Everything I've read about it said that the PG-13 rating began with Red Dawn.
I've heard
it was too violent.
Wow, we got 2. Now this is interesting. I will say this to kind of make this interesting. On August 10th, 1984, only 3 months after parents were outraged over the release of PG-rated Temple of Doom, Red Dawn, drama starring Patrick Swayze became the first film to be released with a PG-13 rating. So it sounds like it was. Yeah,
so it was both.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see it. Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
Okay, so yeah,
Temple to bits by crocodiles at the end of Temple.
Yeah, Temple of Doom was too.
Thing.
Yeah, Temple of Doom was too violent for a PG, and then they saw how violent Red Dawn was and said, "We can't give this a PG."
Yeah,
weird. They used to swear in PG movies. I mean, I think Ghostbusters or like something like that some of those mild movies have some pretty some minor some swear words there.
Well, they just thought, well, as long as you're with your parents, it's fine.
Right?
It's still true. But see, they couldn't sell toys on that fact. And so they're like, oh, well, if we put a PG-13 there, then we can still get kids there. Because there's nothing between PG and R. So either you were selling toys or you were selling the movie exclusively to adults. And Spielberg and I'm assuming the Red Dawn guys wanted both.
That's pretty smart.
Because Red Dawn's kind of a kid's movie. It's a bunch of kids killing some communists.
They made a remake, didn't they? I've seen the...
but the remake sucks because... Okay, the remake sucks because the enemy in the remake is North Korea. They could never invade us.
They should have done Russia at least, dude. Not North Korea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, well, they do what they can.
Right.
They should have... I mean, they could have at least tried going for China.
There you go. China would be good one, too.
They tried going China.
But then
what went wrong?
What
went wrong, Matt?
The Chinese market.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like what they're trying to sell to now. Even gaming's going that way now. So,
it's because...
That's why they chose North Korea, dude. So they didn't piss anyone off they didn't want to piss off.
You want to know something? China is the reason why Warcraft was the highest grossing video game film of all time.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because the fan base for World of Warcraft is massive in China.
Oh yeah, well, it's not just a fan base. It was a legitimate career in China, farming. You could just gold farm for your life, and then some bigger company would sell it to people. So I'm really not surprised. It literally was somebody's livelihood, and quite a few.
But yeah, getting back to comics a little bit. So Jack Irons, we're getting it out soon. What do you want to tell the fans about Jack Irons and what going forward right now?
Well, I think issue 1 is a fucking masterpiece. I mean, the writing, of course, I'm not gonna ever be happy with. There's also two things in the book, 2 panels that actually need fixing that will always be there, and I'm gonna keep it quiet.
Oh boy,
it's hilarious. People see it. People see it. I saw it. So it was fixed in the black and white version, but then when I sent the pages, it wasn't the fixed page, and then it got colored, and then I could have still flipped the image, and it still would have worked, but I was too lazy to. Well, I don't want to say too lazy. I just didn't think it was so big of a deal as compared to getting the book out, and it's like probably a 10-minute Photoshop fix. I don't know. If I could do it myself, I would have. But it doesn't hurt the book. I think it's kind of it's quirky. It's good for a first book. You'll see it and you're like, that panel, it flows, but it's backwards. That's fine with me. There's little things like that. But in terms of art, I really haven't seen a book come out of the community that has art that I enjoy more, and that's really hard to say because there are some gorgeous books out in Comicsgate and the indie sphere period. There's some absolutely gorgeous books, but my team's combination, I think it's hard to beat when you're actually just looking through the pages. So I'm super stoked to see what it looks like on print, because digitally and in this HD and as vibrant as the colors are, it is a gorgeous book, and it's a lot of fun towards the end. At the beginning it's interesting, and then the end it's like, oh, now he's doing his cowboy stuff, and then it ends, and then hopefully you want more, which was the point. So I think issue 1's a lot of fun. I think the extras we're throwing into issue 1 are a lot of fun. Giving back to the community with a fan art gallery. Most people who are in it have been contacted. Basically everybody in it has been contacted and got the okay, actually. But I'm hoping to maybe make that a thing, continuing on. Keep doing fan art galleries in the back of the books. We'll see how that goes and how practical it is in the meantime, but it is in issue 1. We weren't able to get concept art into issue 1's print, but there will be concept art in the digital PDFs. Let's see what else. I cannot wait to see folks' reaction to the cover. It's on my Patreon as blank. It doesn't have the lettering or the logo for $5 patrons if anybody's really interested. Otherwise, if you already ordered the book, I think it's just going to be a bitchin' surprise when you open it and see how badass this cover is. Everybody here, I think, can say it's pretty good looking. And Let's see. And it's also something you don't get on mainstream comics anymore, this cover. It's something that they wouldn't do anymore just because it's not consumable by the public or what have you. So I think that'll be fun for folks who remember old Wolverine covers or old Hellblazer covers. I think that'll be nice. Because they
I
just
love
don't
the old
do it
Hellblazer
anymore.
covers, dude.
Yeah, and let's see.
That's cool.
I think that covers issue 1. I'm really hoping people enjoy it and are stoked for issue 2. Everybody who can and wanted to has read issue 1 already, so they should kind of know what to expect. A lot of people didn't want to. They wanted to have a complete surprise, and so those people also are probably not listening to this. But if you are, hopefully you enjoy it and it comes off as polished and professional, even with the small independent errors in there. I'm going to call them. I think I even rewrote it at parts from the free version. There's a little extra. The dialogue flows a little bit better, and there's a little bit more. This is, I guess you can call it the director's cut in color.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Just for the backers and for Wikid. So the free one is the same story. It's just not as polished.
Well, that's nice. I appreciate that. I didn't even know that's kind of a nice treat for the readers.
Yeah, I thought so. There's at least 2 specific dialogue parts that were altered because I was reading through them the 3rd or 4th time when it was colored, and I was like, yeah, I can add something there and it'll sound better, and it did. So I'm happy. Yeah, I'm just hoping. I'm really excited for this to get into people's hands and see the reaction, even if it's shit.
Hey, don't say
that. People don't talk trash about it on any social media yet. Nobody comes at me, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm doing something wrong. So let's get these books out and see if that's still true.
Right. No, that sounds great. And we'll talk. You and I we'll get together with Matt, and we can go over some more details on making sure those get out promptly into people's hands.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I know you guys are bearing a hell of a lot with this, and take the time to thank you very much for it, because once again, I've said it plenty of times, say it again, without the ability for physical books through Wikid Publishing, my campaign would not have been a success. I was a large part of it becoming a success, but the fact is people do not want just digital books if they have if they're going to throw money at it. It's really tough. I will throw money at digital books that I like the creators or I want the book. But as a new independent creator, it's very hard to get somebody who likes physical books to buy or even read a free version of your digital. So this made a huge difference in my campaign, no question. I know there's going to be some brunt borne by Wikid on a lot of this. So we're going to have to work together to figure this out in the long run.
We'll make sure it goes smoothly. But thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. That's really great.
Well, you guys
we appreciate
took the time,
you joining us.
I spent the last five years marketing this comic to. It wasn't polished because the lettering wasn't even the lettering people are used to on my free. It was Maxie did the lettering. He doesn't speak English that great, so there was some mistakes I couldn't go back and fix because I wasn't a letterer. And so that was probably one of the issues people wouldn't look at it. But I don't know. I don't know why folks weren't too interested in it. Independent folks, like Image or Boom or smaller companies even, some that I barely had even heard of. So it was a hell of a thing, especially so early on in my campaign. Again, if it was even later in that campaign, it might not have even mattered.
Right? Yeah, it was. It was kind of funny. It was very, very early on in the campaign, and we kind of didn't really even know about how much history of how much you had been trying to get it out there, even really when we first approached you either.
Oh yeah, no, I was pretty blatant about folks not. Well, I think actually no, I wasn't. I think I tried to avoid it specifically because you don't want to put on your campaign that no publisher would pick you up. Right? That's just not something you want to advertise. So I'm pretty sure I didn't, but maybe I did. I don't know. But that was part of it, and I don't know. I must have sent out 100 emails, and the thing that bugged me the most, which I do understand, is I only got one response. One guy who said, "Oh, I read it, I enjoyed it, but we just don't have the capability to publish it right now." That was great. I got an answer. I knew I was heard, and I gave somebody a free read. I was happy. But everybody else, I can't tell you how many companies, nobody would even acknowledge that they received it. And that's got to be, it was for me exceedingly disheartening. It's like at least say that you got it and it's not your style, or something. Have
Give
some
us
kind
something
of
back.
have
Human
something. I know
interaction
that
here.
they only usually have one editor who takes in the submissions, and then he'll clean through those and then send them to the other editors to decide who gets what. But still, I think you just hire 3 more people and they can probably answer those emails with a stock email even. Thank you for submitting to. At this time, we don't want to publish you. I would have taken that. But
yeah, it's just more respectful that way.
Yeah, you know, people put their hearts on their line to put that. Even if you don't like it, at least acknowledge they tried and respected you enough to try you.
You know, I remember Todd McFarlane talking about when he was starting to break into comics. Like he was sending submissions like by the hundreds to publishers looking for anyone who would take him, and he was constantly getting back letters that all said something to the effect of, "You got potential, but you need more experience."
Yeah, that's the stock comic book answer. Same for manga artists. They'll say, "All this stuff is great, publishing you." It's fucking. It's a good way to go about it. You know, it's the compliment sandwich. Here's what I liked about you. We're not going to help you. Here's what you can do to improve. But they don't even give those out anymore. You know, in the 90s, he probably did get responses almost every time. Whereas nowadays,
McFarlane's been in the comics since the 80s, I think.
Well, there you go. Yeah, even more so when the industry was a hell of an industry. Yeah, I'm kind of saddened by the fact that publishers don't take the time to foster their own new creative community, and instead they're looking to other popular mediums to recruit. You know, they're looking at the streamers, or looking at the magazine writers, or looking at folks who aren't comic fans because they need new books, and apparently only non-comic fans can make comics. It's very confusing.
Or like how you know what's really confusing is how Marvel, which is supposed to be like the prestige company, is pulling artists out of Tumblr.
Well, once again, as Canals was saying, they don't have the money to pay anybody, and those Tumblr guys come with a built-in fan base. It's just a no-brainer. The problem is when they don't hire artists who already have a built-in fan base that's probably larger than those Tumblrs. That's what doesn't make sense to me. But it does in the terms of money. They just might not be able to afford it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with EVS. They couldn't afford his contract, and they couldn't find somebody to work with him cheaper, to allow a writer to work with him cheaper, to allow them to pay his rate. So we ended up with this whole situation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I think I remember there was one Diversity in Comics' video when he was going over the Return of Wolverine, and he talked about, and you know, like how that book was drawn by Steve McNiven. And
I'm not aware.
Well, the problem with Steve McNiven is that he's too expensive for Marvel now, and so he's the guy they got to trot out when they have a big thing going.
And they can't really sustain good events. I think they've had that problem since Nazi Cap. What the fuck was that called? Secret Empire. Yeah, Secret Empire. Yeah, basically since Secret Invasion, I've been uninterested in Marvel. Siege was all right. But yeah, I was just, and they're gonna do some kind of Secret Invasion thing with Captain Marvel, the movie. So that's gonna be a thing to see. I don't know. I think Marvel.
Do you think they're gonna do that in the movies, dude?
She punches an old lady. That old lady's a Skrull. It's Secret Invasion.
Do you think that's what? Wait, you think
that's what. And they're thinking even Nick Fury was like, "Oh, this is the Skrull invasion. I better call Captain Marvel," and then he poofs into nothing.
I think, confused.
Yeah. At the end of Infinity War, he calls Captain Marvel because he thinks the Skrulls are doing it, not because he knows what's going on.
Wait, really?
Yeah, at the end, in credits scene.
Yeah, I remember that scene. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's calling it because shit's going down, but allegedly it's because he thinks it's the Skrulls. That's the current theory. And of course, in the Captain Marvel preview, she punches an old lady. The only way Marvel's getting away with that is if it's a Skrull.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So it's the Skrull invasion. It's gonna be like a Secret Invasion, but in the 90s. So she's gonna beat that, and then we'll get Infinity War, and then everybody
That's
will
gonna be the
die.
prequel.
They'll replace
Okay.
them with
I gotta.
Williams and all that.
That's
other
interesting,
shit.
I suppose.
Oh, man, I gotta wonder just how tacky the Captain Marvel soundtrack is. Like, how much do you want to bet it's gonna be wall to wall Nirvana songs?
Well, and Ace of Base. Gotta have your Ace of Base.
Oh God, Ace of Base and Backstreet Boys and.
I kind of hope so. I don't mind that nostalgia level. If the soundtrack's good, there's good shit in the 90s. I hope it doesn't suck, but Brie Larson does not sell me as it's not like Captain America. I was sold on him and I hated him.
Is he in that storyline with Secret Wars?
Chris Evans.
Oh, no, in Secret Invasion.
Sorry.
Yeah, everybody's in Secret Invasion, the comics. Secret Invasion, the what they're gonna do for Captain Marvel. Yeah, I doubt it. He's an ice at that point.
Well,
okay.
Wasn't Captain America dead during Secret Invasion?
Well, allegedly, but no, he was supposed to have been killed by Crossbones after Civil War, but then it turned out he wasn't, and
well, he wasn't killed by Crossbones. He was killed by Sharon Carter. But Sharon Carter was mind controlled by Red Skull because, of course, they went to the same psychiatrist because that happens. God, I hate that plot point. But yeah, somehow it's like, and they know that's his psychiatrist. So I guess that maybe bleeds in the Secret Empire because they were all Nazis all along. But Invasion was pretty goddamn good. It ends with Wasp getting blown to fucking bits, I think. And Harry Osborn assassinating the Skrull Queen and becoming head of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is now Hammer. And then Punisher tries to assassinate him, and it's my favorite comic of that entire generation. I fucking love that first issue of the Punisher where he tries to kill him with a Skrull sniper rifle from 4 miles away. And fucking Sentry catches the bullet. And then the rest of it's just a chase. And that's how we're trying to do Tracker, to bring that full circle.
Oh, really?
J-Boy has read that Opeña Remender issue of the Punisher. It's his first issue from Dark Reign. The cover's an homage to his first appearance in Spider-Man. It's just so good. It's so good. The art is outrageous. The sense of motion. And then the plot. He gets this basically Superman off of his ass so he can escape by bluffing that he has a bomb in the hospital he's going to blow up. And fucking Sentry believes him because he's the Punisher. That's what I love about Frank. He can play the dark guy and still be a good guy. I love it.
That sounds so awesome. I wish they would do that kind of stuff in the movies where like the TV show characters could actually cross over with the movie characters.
That was like a thing, and they even hyped it, and then they never went through with it. Like Netflix was like, "Oh, we're trying. Here's the incident. We reference the incident. So now you guys got to do something for us." And then Disney never did anything for them. And then now they're canceling them. There goes Luke Cage, there goes Iron Fist, and
there goes Daredevil.
Yeah, and then Jessica Jones is next, and I'm hoping Frank at least gets. I know they're filming the second season, so he's getting his second season. Oh man,
I hope they get it out there. Yeah,
because it's actual Jigsaw. They take the whole fucking first season to make Jigsaw. Now give me something with Jigsaw.
But just because they're canceling on Netflix doesn't mean that Disney won't pick it back up, though.
Disney does need a hard edge, but I don't know if they'll actually take one. I think they're a little afraid to.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. But they have that new streaming service out, and they'll need some real good content to pump out. So.
Oh yeah, and they own Frank, but I just Frank and the Mouse. Yeah, they of course can and will. At least the comics, because he's an IP they have to cash in on. But I don't see them putting a violent mass murdering serial killer as a important thing in their overall Marvel universe. They're okay with soldiers. Of course, Cap killed a few Nazis. That's fine. But it's a little bit different than no one ever, folks.
No one ever says no to killing a Nazi. No one will ever say no to that.
A Nazi, maybe. But that's semantics at this point.
So much semantics. Completely undefined now.
But that's just unfortunate. I did want payoff. Like I understand Daredevil was probably supposed to play a part in Civil War.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. I mean, they nailed the casting choices on the Netflix series. I was stoked.
Seriously, dude.
Matt Murdock is outrageous.
Yeah, dude.
Jessica Jones, not my favorite series, but she's killer as Jessica. Luke Cage was good. Iron Fist, a lot of people hated it. I like the first season. I can't get through the second, and a lot of people love the second season compared. So I don't know about that one. I'm hoping they actually just canceled these two and are actually going to do a Heroes for Hire. I still have that flame of hope that they're going to do a Heroes for Hire.
What's that mean?
But we'll see. That's the partnership between Luke Cage and Iron Fist. That's way back in the comics, way back in the day.
Oh wow!
And ran forever.
Yeah.
They were Heroes for Hire. They had a little office on a street, and they would just be
That'd be
hired
pretty cool,
They're basically
dude.
the A-team of Marvel. Is what
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was that's right. That was like way back in the day.
Yeah, it was like 70s, 80s, and then part of the 90s when Iron Fist was kind of popular. Not really, but Luke Cage was really popular.
Of course he was. He was basically Luke Cage back in those days. He was writing the hype from blaxploitation movies like Shaft.
Yeah, and the whole hip hop scene growing and stuff. But you want to hear something funny? I don't know if any of you guys have you guys read the run of the Punisher that has Luke Cage that he gets blackface, he gets blacked.
Oh boy! No.
They do that in prison to him. Everybody's gonna kill Frank,
awful.
right? Because he ends up in prison so goddamn much. Always gets out. This time he got in and a bunch of people are gonna kill him, and somebody wants him, so they knock his ass out and turn him into a black guy, and then he escapes. And so he spends the rest of the arc trying to figure out how to get back to being a white guy.
Oh God, that sounds terrible.
I don't know. It's fun, and it's back when you can do that kind of stuff. So I'm happy.
Right, that would never be published by
he
Marvel.
he doesn't
today.
just put on like a blackface. Somebody literally genetically reconstructs him and changes the pigment in his skin and all shit. So he looks and it is completely different. It can't even
It's like
Frank
Quantum Leap
anymore.
style.
Yeah,
Really.
kinda. Yeah, pretty much. Except without the magic.
Right. Or the religion.
Wait, didn't he get a blackface? Didn't he get blackface from cosmetic surgery or something?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, they totally gave him cosmetic surgery. They redid his face and implanted melanin and shit. Yeah.
Not how that works.
So weird,
does
dude.
not
Yeah.
work that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that don't. Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. Talking about blaxploitation. Yeah, Punisher was also guilty.
Very, very guilty. Oh man, there's some questionable histories in Marvel comics, I'm sure.
That they would rather not talk about these days.
Do you know how he got his white face back?
Oh no.
He got jigsawed, and then somebody else built his face back normal.
Oh,
but they totally turned him into Jigsaw for about like 3 issues after that. They chopped up his face so good, it wasn't black anymore.
Gotta ask, who for people who've seen the Punisher show on Netflix, is that Jigsaw at the very end? Then are we seeing the creation of
Billy Russo is Jigsaw.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Jigsaw. They made them friends. They were never fucking friends. One was a Guido mobster that was always a piece of shit and always thought he was the most handsome motherfucker ever, and the other was a serial killing soldier. Now this one, they're both serial killing soldiers. So it was all right. Like I said, I enjoyed it. The firefights were pretty good too.
The fight scene at the end was pretty brutal too.
Yeah, I think I liked his run in Daredevil a little bit more just because of setting it up. But I liked Microchip. They nailed Microchip, and it was perfect to make him an NSA agent instead of what he was, which was just a white hacker. A white hacker.
Okay, yeah.
But
I kind of felt like there was I kind of felt like there was a Snowden thing going on with Microchip.
Yeah. That's what they were doing. That's exactly what they were doing, and that was fine with me. The thing I was waiting for the whole show, though, that they didn't do yet is kill his kid. Because that's what they did in the original book to get Microchip to be with Frank, is they killed his kid. And so he was helping Frank, do the same thing Frank was doing for his family, which is make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else, except for
that'd probably happen next season, I could see.
Yeah, I would think, especially since they kind of got Microchip safe and they're all happy. He's back with his family.
Right, exactly.
All of that. Of course, that's kind of my thing, especially since Frank got all buddy-buddy with the wife. Almost really buddy-buddy. So we'll see. It's being filmed, so there's no way it's not coming out, thank goodness. But I doubt there's going to be a 3.
Yeah, it doesn't. Especially if they cancel one more series, then the writing's on the wall at that point.
Yeah, if they cancel Jones, basically, it's like, they get to release Punisher for a little while. And then we release our streaming service, and Netflix got to tear it all down. That's my guess.
Yeah. And have you noticed that Netflix has been pretty much getting every single Marvel movie that they can lately because they know they're going to lose the rights soon?
Yeah,
boy.
I did notice that. I am kind of happy somebody's trying to step up to take the streaming monopoly away from Netflix. It's just inconvenient as hell for the basic consumer. It's good for the industry, terrible for the basic consumer.
It's becoming so much. All these different streaming platforms is becoming just like the television, network with cable.
Yeah, except you're paying for it, and hopefully you're not getting commercials too. That's the
well,
hope,
that's true. That's a good point.
But
point.
If you are getting that kind of ads and shit, then yeah, I'm not a. Well, we'll see how they handle it. They got plenty of time. My guess is they'll do like a free trial, like everybody does, but they might also do like a free version where you just get these certain things to entice people. That's what I would do. And that's what I did with my comic. You got to give somebody something to enjoy. So they keep coming back, and then eventually they'll be like, "Oh, okay. Well, I actually want to watch this, and it's $5 a month here." But who knows what they'll actually do? Netflix did real well for a very long time for people who just wanted to mail movies back and forth. So. Disney's the OG in media, so if they can keep up,
that is true.
Step up.
Oh God.
That is true.
That's true. Yeah, they'll probably even start licensing other movies, just like Netflix is doing. I bet.
Oh, I would bet, especially things that are on flavor,
right?
Maybe even old TV shows that have to do with these properties that they don't quite own. But I think they do. I think we might even get the old, Spider-Man, X-Men animated series, that kind of shit on there. Mm-hmm. If they actually put the old Ghost Rider episode on there, I'd be super stoked. He got one episode of his own TV series where Richard Grieco played him, and I still haven't seen it. I've seen his cameo of that character in the old Fantastic Four show where he beats Galactus. They wanted Ghost Rider to be so badass and people to watch him that the first time he shows up and beats Galactus. I thought that was a hell of a thing, and would not happen. Dependent stares Galactus, and Galactus just freaks the fuck out from the untold horrors he's committed for millennia upon millennia. So that was cool, but wouldn't work. It's fucking Galactus. He's a cosmic entity. He doesn't need to. Whatever. It was just
he doesn't need this. Yeah.
Fucking Richard Grieco. Pretty fun though. Pretty fun. But yeah, I'd be stoked to see Disney get those. They own Fox now, so I don't see why they wouldn't. They're gonna get all the old X-Men movies. They're gonna get all that shit. Logan's gonna be on there, so they're gonna have a hell of a juggernaut. Netflix is gonna have a hell of a time, especially like if you said, if they start buying properties, who are they gonna rather sell it to?
Right. Who's got more money?
So yeah, and yeah, exactly. And the ability to really show it. Netflix has the installed base though, so that's going to take some time to beat.
That's true. Yeah.
Now the question is, if Jack Iron's got a series, it would probably be on Netflix and not Disney. So I got to root for Netflix.
Yeah, but you might
can't see Jack Iron's on Disney.
Yeah, but you might have the same problems as The Witcher has.
Well,
that's right.
What's wrong with The Witcher?
How about the fact that the original creator Andrzej Sapkowski has more or less washed his hands of it because.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
I can't wait.
Apparently, a bunch of woke California hipsters know The Witcher better than its Polish creator.
I can't wait for
even
political Geralt.
Political.
He's a non-political character.
Also, I guarantee. Here's another thing. You guys might not know this, but The Witcher is it is massive out in Poland. It is it's like a cultural institution out there. So if Andrzej Sapkowski is not happy with this Netflix version of The Witcher, I guarantee the Polish people are just as pissed.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, I bet.
Well, weren't the Polish racists for not having any white people in their 12th century Polish game, or any black people in their 12th century Polish game?
Well, not just that. It's also apparently they're racist because they want to control their borders and not take in migrants.
Remember when the X-Men took over Poland?
That actually happened?
Yeah.
That actually happened?
Yep, I do remember that.
Wait, what did you say?
The X-Men Yeah, the X-Men once controlled Poland.
Let that sink in for a minute.
No, it makes sense because Magneto and Auschwitz. It makes perfect sense. I'm not surprised.
No, that's right. Magneto is Polish. Magneto's Polish, isn't he?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting
he's Polish.
backstory.
Well, he's a Polish Jew.
You got to do that in one of the X-Men movies, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some pretty good Nazi scene camps with him in Poland and Auschwitz. I will say the first X-Men had a good one, and then one of the, I guess it's First Class had a good one where they were first testing on him. So there's a few good Auschwitz scenes in there.
Interesting.
Would have been
nice. Backstory.
Would be nice if they do X-Men for Disney, that we can get Wolverine and Cap in World War II.
That would be cool.
Those caps.
That would be the tits. That would be the tits, man.
The only better is if we also get Jack in there, but
we got time, man. We got plenty of time. Oh man, but Jack and Wolverine together. What a more iconic. Name me more iconic duo than that right there.
I don't know. That could be. That would be a hell of a thing. I would want a Wolverine writer on it, just because. I would rather them do something different with Jack than me do something different with Wolverine.
Interesting.
It's just
maybe you could write the Wolverine parts and he writes the Jack parts.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know about that.
The main point was not to piss off OG Wolverine fans like everybody else.
Yeah, that would be.
And basically, Jack is so very much like OG Wolverine, not new Family Man Wolverine, but old, troubled, dying, doesn't really want to be on anybody's side.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing. Jack's very much that. So putting them together, it's just two Jacks, except one's got knives and not as smart. And I don't know. It would be fun. I'm more interested in stuff like that crossover piece we got from Halloween. Xenomorphs versus Jack.
Aliens versus Jack.
Yeah. I'm stoked for that. Predator versus Jack. When is he sick of skinning Jack? I'd be very interested to see that. How many spines does he rip out till he's done ripping out?
Jeez.
Doesn't he get the spine and the skull?
Yeah, and so there's going to be a lot of just a huge pile of those until he's like, "What the fuck is this thing?" But that kind of stuff I'm more interested in. Things where the character isn't straight up so similar. That would be the thing. Like I would love to write a Wolverine. There you go, Josh. I would do Jack vs. Pineapple Pizza Man. Like what the fuck, right? That's super interesting.
How about Jack Irons meets X-Files?
That would be
I don't think it could.
I think
I could figure that out. Yeah, basically it would be Mulder and Scully, and they're tracking this guy through history, and they find him and talk to him and try to figure it out. That could be really fun.
Actually, you guys want to go? Actually,
that's
awesome. Michael, do you want to know what the ultimate crossover for Jack would be, though? And this is something Cody and I have talked about. He knows where I'm going with this.
This is gonna be good.
I don't actually. My memory is very small
and hazy.
That doesn't help.
The Doppler effect.
Undertaker.
The wrestler?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because he looks like him.
No, wait, I gotta do the Paul Bear verse. Oh yes, Undertaker.
Oh my god.
I mean, thematically, that's great. We just gotta have him be. I know how to write this. So it takes issue 2. So it would have to take one of the main villains and turn him into it. But I know how to do it. So yeah, I could do that. I could do it. The Undertaker and the pun with it is excellent.
Oh god.
But
so you heard here first, guys. We need Undertaker's in money? Jack Irons.
We need Undertaker.
Yeah, we need Undertaker money. Yeah.
If we have Undertaker money, yes. Otherwise, I'm crossing over with. I don't know.
Can we set up a GoFundMe to make this happen?
Yes, let's get the GoFundMe for some Undertaker money.
Yeah. Well, we want to do a funeral, but we're also trying to fund a comic book. It's a hell of a thing. That's why we need a GoFundMe. Gotta pay the Undertaker.
Exactly. Takes a village.
Exactly. I mean, dude. Although, who would we have to get in touch with? I mean, like, does Undertaker have an agent? Do we go to him?
Yes.
Do we have to go through?
No, he's got to have a publicist. That's how it goes. You got to go through a publicist, and I bet you have to go through Vince McMahon's publicist, and then you actually have to reach Vince, and that's a hell of a thing. And then you get him, and then somebody gets a hold of the Undertaker. So no, thank you.
It's too much work at this point.
Why are we stopping at Undertaker money? Let's get that Dwayne Johnson Rock money.
Oh,
that's where it's at.
That jumper. Let's get that jumper money. What is it?
Yeah.
Tower, whatever that movie is called. What is it?
Skyscraper.
Skyscraper money. Yeah, there you go.
That didn't make a bunch of money. Let's get the Jumanji money. Let's get that fast. Let's get that fast 7.
Right, that fast 5. I need them dollars.
So Dwayne, if you're listening to this, because I know you are, that role of Jack Irons is wide open.
You'd be perfect. Give us a call. Give us a call, Dwayne.
If you want to do something outside the box of basic action hero or comedian, this is your role, bud. You get to be a Western icon on the likes of Clint Eastwood. I mean, that's a hell of a thing.
So call us. We'll be in touch.
Yeah. I really tried with Sporkman. I really tried to. I spammed his thread with lots of Sporkman things. It didn't work.
We all saw that.
It was a
That's
strategy.
hilarious. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. You got to pick people who actually interact on Twitter though. So Rock's one of them. I had to pick like Bieber and Timberlake and shit.
Oh boy.
Oh man, I can't tell you how many things I tried. Hell of a lot of fun though.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it was just looking up all the most random people you could find.
I was gonna do the whole Senate. I got the whole list of their Twitters. I was gonna mass tag the Senate, but I
feeling stressed. How about a fun comic to take some of the stress away?
Somehow,
Sporkman.
I have a feeling that Secret Service will probably show up at your door one day.
You're gonna have to cease and desist,
guys. I'm gonna jump. I've got like an hour and a half left before work starts. But yeah, thanks for having me on, and hopefully,
no problem.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just leave on by saying I hope none of you plan on doing Black Friday shopping because I work retail and I have to work Black Friday.
I'm working Black Friday, so.
Well, that's where you earn your money, bro. I have.
Yeah, I probably work Black Friday as well.
Otherwise, I'm not. Let me see if I did the math right because I want to see. Looks like our next podcast will be the day after Black Friday. So.
War stories. Nice.
Okay, well, hey, I'll see you at your store on Black Friday then, Brett. Sounds like a plan. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm up at.
I think I'm going.
I'll be the guy chucking Xboxes at people. Just wait for
I'm going to.
Well, I'll just say though, just because our next show is gonna be after Black Friday, which means it's gonna be after Thanksgiving. I'll just leave by saying Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving! And if you want to know, we're actually planning a little bit of a Black Friday sale for the Wikid publishing store, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Oh yeah, guys, check that out.
Yep.
We'll be posting details coming up.
Yeah.
Killer. All right.
Well, hey man, have a great day. Have a good day at work, and thanks again for joining us. It was great having you.
Have a great one, Brett.
Yeah, everybody, check out Changeling as it comes out. Definitely check out his Twitter. For Changeling news. I'm pretty stoked for it. It's a definite change of pace from a lot of books out there, and the art is quite good. I'm really impressed with this new cover that they've got.
Oh yeah,
really
it's so pretty. I love it.
You folks just saw a piece of it because it's his icon currently. I want to do the same thing, but I'm keeping my cover hidden for a while. So
just a little surprise, you know.
Yeah, yep. So right now you just stare at the shading in that plumber's crack, which at least 2 people have said makes Matthias a hell of an artist for the dedication, and I agree.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. That's a nice attention to detail right there. Oh man, well, we're getting closer to the end of the time here. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about your projects as we start to wrap things up here today?
I do, but somebody else should go first because I can tend to yak on.
Well, really? That's a surprise, Cody.
I'm giving you the space. I'm accepting it. take it. Before I do, I'll do it.
So am I the only one here aside from Cody and you guys?
Me and Matt can talk a little about our projects as well, but we can go actually after Cody, I suppose.
Well,
or before Cody, either one.
Yeah, whatever you guys work out.
Well, I do have something to announce.
Oh, okay.
It looks like that the first project that I'll have from for Wikid Publishing will be Mythics, and it'll be a one-shot with Michael Santos, whom I've shown you the artwork for in the group chat.
Nice.
And the plan is to have this one-shot connect all three universes, all three stories of Mythics, Changeling, and Adobe Kroger.
Wow.
Nice.
Does this mean that we're going to potentially be seeing some crossover with characters, or are we talking story? What can you reveal to us right now?
Well, right now, the script hasn't been completely written yet. I've only just started talking to him about doing it, but we're just going to have reference certain ideas from each series, such as with Changeling, we're going to have something to do with the Fae and Changelings, as well as the whole complexity of the issue. And I'm going to probably have something to do with the Paladins, maybe have Adobe show up in there. I'm not quite certain yet.
Some fun ideas, different ways you could really take it, it sounds like.
Yep.
Nice. That sounds awesome. I'm very looking forward to Mythics. I really like the way it kind of, like you said, kind of dives into the mythology or the mythological side, you might say, with fake creatures and things like that. And so it's gonna be cool to see a crossover with all the different things coming together. Really,
it's actually really funny how Brett had come to me about asking for advice on his script. And and then we started talking about about our stories, and it was really weird how our brains just clicked on the background. So it seemed it was a logical choice to have at first Mythics and Changeling, and then we started listening to Adobe Kroger when Dan plugged the audiobook. And he was receptive to the idea of having a shared universe.
And that's how it kind of all first started to take off right there.
Yep. So I think that's just about it, other than Beth starting to work on the McKinnon Chronicles colors. She's done page 2. And working on the rest of those pages as we speak.
Awesome. That's awesome. So it sounds like they're coming on really nice on that side.
Yep.
And what are your plans for the future? Are you going to be doing an Indiegogo soon, or how are you guys planning to release it? What do you have any thoughts on that you can share?
For McKinnon Chronicles, we're going to be doing an Indiegogo because that's the most expensive project on the table at the moment. I've got 3 people working on it, so it's going to be a lot.
It's an undertaking, you might say. An undertaker, you might say.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just like changing of a pace.
So Mythics will be the thing that'll come out first, and it'll be an nice introduction to both the world of Changeling. McKinnon Chronicles, but also of Changeling and Adobe Kroger as well. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. I'm probably not going to have Adobe or Maeve show up simply because I don't want to be their first appearance.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. But it could be a good way for new readers to kind of be introduced to the ideas and then move into those other series after that as well.
Exactly.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And we're very much looking forward to that. And we'll, as we get closer to the release date, we'll definitely keep updating the readers as well.
Of course, I'll probably do it as a free webcomic at first. What Cody did.
Come with the cactus, Tony, almost like Cactus Tony. That's a character on a podcast I listen to. Coyote, nice. Cactus. Cactus Coyote. Is that what you mean?
Well, more like Jack Irons issue 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. It worked for me. It might not work for others. I've seen a lot of people doing it. I'm hoping it helps. The main thing as a new creator, somebody without a name, you really have to make that name, and the only way to do it is provide people with a product. And like me, if you don't have a means to put that out there besides digitally, then you do it digitally and you just hype the hell out of it. And I'm hoping that works for everybody who tries it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it helped me quite a lot because people knew what they were getting into, but a lot of people didn't want to know what they were getting into too, which was a trip. So I don't know.
That's like when I never want to watch movie trailers, you know, because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
But okay, well, Cody, would you like to go next, or should Matt and I go first?
I'll go next. Get it out of the way.
Sure.
Main thing at the point, besides getting folks our backers issue #1, and then #2. Main thing I'm working on is our Patreon page for Ironverse Comics and just everything in the Jack Irons universe. That's going to be kind of our go-to. My goal is to release Cactus Coyote basically just on Patreon for a good amount of time. Eventually, maybe getting the first issue transferred to Tapas once it's out and all of it's completed. But we'll see how that goes. But for $1 a month, you'll get access to our Discord. You'll get access to Cactus Coyote and most of the stuff I post. Anything more than that, you'll see as it goes. A few things are going to cost a little bit more just because they're spoilers. So I want people to actually really want to see them. Cactus Coyote, hopefully next week, maybe the week after, we'll start releasing on there, and it's a good way to get your Jack fix as we're releasing the physical issues. I'm hoping folks will get something out of Coyote they don't get out of Jack, mainly humor. There's a little bit of comedy in Jack's, but it's very it's dry matter of the fact. He's commenting on something completely different than what he just did, kind of humor, whereas it's literally a gag manga. You're even going to read it right to left.
Oh, wow, really?
So, yeah. So, it should be a trip. I'm hoping people like it. I find the art style cutesy. I think it works fine. It does the horror pretty well, but it also kind of shows you his shape-shifting and such. So I might as well pitch that too. Cactus Coyote is a shape-shifting gambler, ex-garbage disposal. He's an old science experiment from one of our main villains in the Jack Irons series. Once again, issue 2, that'll kind of tell you. But I think it'll be a lot of fun. And once again, it's $1 a month, and you get all the pages. I'm really hoping that gets people wanting to read it. If it doesn't, that's a good deal, and we don't get enough backers or whatever to actually make it worth the Patreon, then I'll release the first issue on Tapas, and that can get ad revenue now. But it's once again, I have to get thousands upon thousands of views to get in a month to get ad revenue. So it's not a great opportunity, but it'll get out there for even people who don't want to spend the $1. But please spend the $1. We do need it.
I mean, that's like buying a comic right there. You know, $1. You just think of it. What you're getting access to. You know, you're getting all this great stuff. So I say
we're hoping 2 pages a week is what you're paying $1 a month for. So hopefully you're paying $1 a month for 8 pages a month. But that's our goal. Yeah. That's not set in stone at all. The other thing is, once again, I don't want to have to run Indiegogos constantly. I want to get to a point, very much like the Rags team got to, where the actual fan base is funding its creation. Because the crowdfunding is a hell of a grind, and it's a use of time that may not be beneficial if you fail. So it's a hell of a thing that I don't really want this to be. I want this to be a product people can rely on and expect to pay this certain amount of money, and they'll be getting their books at this time and such. I want it to be more professional, and Patreon's the best way for us to get to that point. Until Wikid's able to get into stores, and that would make a huge difference. But that's down the line. Our main goal right now is to produce these comics to get them exposure and to get them sold and to get them hyped. So
I will say once these comics do get out into the hands of the backers, we'll be pushing to get them into the stores pretty heavily. We're already in talks with a lot of stores throughout San Francisco, Sacramento, and other cities. So once it gets out there, we'll start pushing it. you know.
Yeah, anybody in that area too. And of course, I've got my own kind of connections. We sold one comic pack, which was cool too during the campaign. So we got one guy who bought 10 issues. That's gonna end up
that's
on
awesome.
shelves, which is kind of cool. But
yeah, that's a real nice thing, man.
Yeah, and
gotta feel real good about that. I bet
the cover we came up with is a shelf or table cover. It draws you in and you look at it compared to others. So my hope is that's how it's going to get found. But until that point where it's massively there, because even Rags only sells about that much to comic book stores. 10, 12 copies. So it's enough to fund Rags, which is great. But you still need to you need to grow more. And independent comics is a hell of a one to try. So. Hell of a journey. I'm hoping Patreon will help my team stick together, specifically me. My day job is gonna just pay bills. It doesn't really pay the comic and the crowdfunding. Once issue 2 is done, I am out of steam for issue 3. So people really need to hopefully back both. Hoping the digital sales and physical sales through Wikid will also help fund it. But Patreon, really, folks, if you enjoy my work, you enjoy my team's work, and you want to see more of this universe, that's where you got to go to make sure it happens. It's a hell of a thing. My day job is hanging out. Used to be ballooning, now it's hanging out with dogs and picking up shit and stopping them from humping each other. So I don't. I love dogs. I love the playtime and all that. I'm good with it. But come on, you can't expect that to pay for a comic also. So
true.
help me on out, folks. It's much appreciated.
Yeah, help Cody out so we can keep getting more Jack Irons for years to come. That's the dream.
Exactly. That's the hope. I'm hoping to build this huge goddamn universe, and
the
honestly,
hope of the universe.
What I'm building, it is open. After we finish Jack's story, what's being built is open. So I want other writers, I want other artists, I want this to be a Marvel universe, a DC universe. I want this to be something people can come in with their own things and make their own spot in this world with the weight and notoriety of this world behind it, and the flavor and feel. But once again, that's all pipe dream at the moment. You guys can make it happen by giving us cash, as always.
Make it happen, people. You heard it. Make it happen.
Make it rain.
Yep. That'll be my piece, and I'll shut my mouth now. You go for it.
Okay. Well, first, I want to talk about the solo project, a couple that I'm doing. Of course, Barrels issue 1 is out now. It's going to be releasing on the store tonight. So if you guys are interested in checking out some really cool art from Jeff R. Lasley, who you may be familiar with because he's the artist on the Lone Wolf comic that's just, I believe, finished up a success. Well, not finished, but just hit their initial goal, I believe, on their Indiegogo. You can still support them on that one.
Super stoked about that. Because it's got a Cherokee too, so
yeah, exactly.
I've been talking to him, doing a crossover.
Oh, really? With Doug or
yeah, with Doug. We're talking with Doug and Jeff, but mainly Doug.
Nice. Oh, nice. Yeah. They're both great guys. Yeah.
It would be a great crossover with Jack. I just think it's hilarious. I have a very on superficial means only. Not character-wise. Superficial means only. I have a very similar character, an immortal name.
Yes.
So we're gonna see how that goes.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be a trip to figure out. But no, they're a great team. If you guys haven't backed
definitely. Definitely go check them out. We got their book, and we're looking forward to it. And Jeff's art, I've always been a huge fan of his art.
I know Jeff just started digitally coloring Lone Wolf. Does he have any plans for that for Barrels?
We talked a little bit of it's a great question actually. And it was interesting because we've kind of been mixing up techniques and styles from issue 1 of Barrels to issue 2.
Oh, okay.
And so the two of the big things that we started out with, we're doing now art by 11 by 17 size art, so that they can fit in a lot more detail.
Oh, okay.
And then he's adding in hand painted washes, so there's a lot of grays and kind of shadings in the environment to really bring out the kind of the tonal qualities. But he actually was considering doing digital coloring because he's having some issues with the washes where he's having finding some difficulties with making certain things work. But I decided that we kind of talked about it. It was my view that I really like the hand kind of quality that all of the hand drawing and painting he does brings to it, because I feel like there's so much digital these days. It's kind of nice to see something with a more traditional handcrafted feel to it.
No, I agree. That's very cool. I was just curious because I was
yeah,
stoked,
definitely
when he started, because the
I know,
coloring
right? They
on
do look
Lone
really
Wolf
good. Oh my god,
looks really good.
Yeah,
comparatively.
he's great. He looks so good.
So yeah, I was just curious. I kind of felt also that those kind of the black and white tone fits barrels because it kind of puts it in a time period.
Exactly.
So I like that too. So I totally get that.
Cool. Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for to kind of convey, like either the 1920s vibe or maybe like an old black and white movie, maybe, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's kind of the crime drama noir kind of.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. And adding in the washes is so awesome. I can't wait for you guys to see issue 2 because issue 1 I love it, but there's a lot of white space, and the washes I feel like adds in a lot of dimension. You might say, kind of really makes it atmospheric and. So yeah, I'm really excited to show people. I'm so happy to be working with him. He's an incredible artist. And issue 1, we start off with a really exciting story. A guy gets out of prison after 8 years, and he's got revenge on the mind. But so a lot of things happen really fast in the first issue, and then issue 2 will be all about the aftermath and what comes next after that.
Very cool.
And so issue 2, look for issue 1's gonna be dropping on the store tonight, and then issue 2 should be releasing sometime either at the end of this month or maybe sometime next month. And so that's it for my project, but I thought maybe me and Matt could talk a little bit about Project R and our manga and maybe a little bit of what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and talk about it first, Matt, or do you want me to go first?
You can go ahead and start it off.
Okay. Well, basically, we have 2 issues out now on the store. We're currently considering maybe they're both perfect bound right now, but we're considering transitioning them into a kind of like a more saddle stitch floppy format, more traditional to comics, you might say. And then the biggest thing is issue 3. We've begun work on issue 3, or chapter 3 as we call it. We're working on the art, and we just released a promo for it. Actually, just released it recently. And it's gonna kind of take. There's all these disappearances going on in ancient Rome, and the guard have to go investigate and find out what's going on. And so they've begun their investigation in the poor district, and their questioning of the people quickly leads out of hand, and riot begins. And so it's all about this like kind of the urban mob, as it's called, this huge dense population, and what happens when you get on their bad side in a way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. We don't really have a release date as of yet, but Matt's been working on the art, and we're going to get that out soon. So if you haven't checked it out, there's time to go check out the first 2 issues as well, which we have on the store right now. And Matt, did you have anything you want to add about the art or anything like that?
Yeah, it is more manga style, I would say, but it still reads left to right as normal comics do. But we decided try to capture more of, I would say, more of like the barbarism and the total emotional side of Rome, which is what I really try to capture with a lot of the panels.
Well, I like that.
But
they tend to focus on the governmental military side a lot more with Roman stories, so that's kind of cool.
True, yeah. And we have that, but we want to try and show the entire picture at the same time. You know?
Yeah, we're trying to show the entire picture, but not only that, normal civilian life and kind of more of the things you don't normally always see when it comes to like typical movies.
For example, in issue 1, we kind of show the daily ritual, like of how they pray to their altars and what the Latin terms that they use to pray, and so we kind of go into these historical things because of being such fans of history and stuff. So we have this sci-fi mystery horror comic, but at the same time we love to layer in like these elements of realism to it.
Oh yeah.
And Matt,
it's the good stuff.
It's honestly, I've loved working with Matt because as a writer, I write the comics out and stuff, but we created the story together. And something that I think is so valuable, and you've probably seen this too, Cody, I'm so sure, is when you write it out and then you see the artist come back with a page, and there are things that they've added in that you didn't even think of, things that you never even saw coming, and it adds so much to the page and stuff. And I think that's so valuable when working with an artist.
Yeah, I will say I tend to rely on that factor a little too much with my writing. But I get the story down and leave the details to the artist. But but some artists can't work like that, and I'm happy you found one that can, because that, for me, I find it exceedingly beneficial. A lot of the personality of Jack comes straight from the art and what he decided to put in and how he decided to render it.
Wow.
If it wasn't Maxie, I don't think this book would have been anything like it is now.
That's awesome. Man.
Honestly, his art style is just something else. So
once you get an artist you can work with, you don't want to let them go, because that's a good relationship to have. A good working relationship. It's that's vital, really.
Absolutely.
And so you guys, if you guys are interested, check out that. It's, like I said, it's a mixture of historical fiction with horror and science fiction, and even a little bit of fantasy in there. So it's got a big epic story that we got planned out, and a lot to look forward to with it. So go ahead and check that on, and you can also follow us on Twitter at Project R Manga. And why don't we go ahead and tell everyone how they can follow us if they're not already following us? Would you like to go ahead and go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm at Cowboy_Steel on Twitter. You can look up Cowboy Steel 33 on Facebook. Find our page. You can check out our Patreon. That would be Jack Iron Steel Cowboy Patreon. It'll be under Ironverse Comics. That's the main places. You can check out our first free issue on Tapastic. That link's not hard to find anywhere on my Twitter or Facebook, basically any of these social media sites. And it'd be great if you guys at least check out the Patreon and see if Cactus Coyote's for you when it comes out.
Nice, man. That's awesome. I definitely check it out, guys. I've seen a little bit of Cactus Coyote myself, and it looks really good. I have to say, I love the style they're going with it. So definitely be on that one. And what about you, Matt? What would you like to say about McKinnon Chronicles and your projects, and how they can follow you on Twitter?
You can follow me on Twitter at MattTrin. Yeah, I've also got a Patreon that I update on a daily basis, and I always link them on Twitter.
Nice.
I think that's just about it. I told you guys all about what's going on with McKinnon Chronicles and Mythics earlier.
Yep. Good
okay,
stuff.
Well, awesome, dude. Yeah, go ahead and follow him. There's going to be a lot of good updates coming soon, I'm sure, for McKinnon Chronicles. So be on the lookout for some news on that.
Definitely.
And I guess follow Wikid Publishing. Yeah, go ahead, and if you haven't go ahead and follow us on Wikid Publishing. And if you're interested as well, I'm at NubGuy. That's my personal account. And then
I'm Matt B_Sulos SULOS.
And we both post updates about our personal comics, as well as we post all the time on Wikid. So if you're interested in following and getting more information about any of the series that we publish, you can check us on Twitter or go to our website and check out our online store as well. And be lookout for a lot of new stuff dropping both tonight, this week, and the coming months. We got a lot of big stuff in planned for you guys, so be on the lookout for that.
Yep, some exciting times.
Oh yeah, man. Especially for Jack Irons.
On a personal comic I'm working on with another creator of ours, Aaron. I'm actually working on page 1. The whole time we've been on the podcast, been working on page 1 of Dissolution 2030, and going by really good. Going by really good with it.
We're really excited to have Aaron on our team, and once hopefully we'll be able to get him on a podcast soon. But no, it's great. It's going to be a really interesting series, I think.
So anybody still listening, make sure you hit that subscribe button for the Wikid channel and catch more of these podcasts. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed any of the information we put out. And just make sure you follow this channel. This is going to be a big one, especially for me. I don't run my own channel and I don't stream, so this is where I will be unless I'm on somebody else's.
You heard it, guys. The home of Jack Irons right here. Well, we thank you again, guys, for having you. It's been a blast. And we're gonna probably do these bi-weekly. I said that wrong. Once every 2 weeks. We're looking
bi-monthly. Gotcha.
Something like that. But we'll keep you guys informed. And Cody, we'll talk about Jack Irons and make sure all that's getting good. And all his fans can be sure that we're going to make sure these books are perfect and looking perfect for you guys and just looking so good. I'm just excited to get them out to you, you know.
I don't mind bragging. I really do think this is one of the best looking comics to come out of this period of crowdfunding comics. I think it's going to be tough to beat in terms of
on print
visuals.
with those pages, those glossy pages, man, that's just going to look beautiful.
So I'm probably more stoked than most. These guys are probably second most stoked. You folks, you better work to get even more hyped than us, because that's what we need.
Yeah, everyone, you heard it, guys. Get hyped. Well, thanks again, everyone. It was so much fun. And I guess that's it for Wikid Publishing Podcast number 2. And if you guys have any questions or comments, just feel free to hit us up on Twitter or any of our creators. They're always open to talk, so just hit them up. I'm sure they'd be down.
Yeah, you're always welcome as well to comment down below inside of the comment section and let us know what you think or have any questions as well.
Awesome, guys. Well, enjoy some comics. I know there's a lot of good stuff coming out in the indie scene. So until next time, guys, have a good one.
All right.
See you later.